Welcome to episode 87. I am your host, Mock the Magic Man, Mock for short. With us today is 9 beautiful and handsome guests, or guest hosts.
Boy,
And,
is that about during that delay, or like it's really fucked up?
So as you guys speak, just to give your name, like for the first time you talk, just so people know who you are, because I think Brad was getting like who's speaking when, because people don't know who we are if they're just listening to the podcast.
Well, and our lower thirds aren't working.
Mine's working.
I know, I see that. I'm jelly.
Yeah. So yeah, if you can get the lower thirds working, that helps too. So first, before we start, I'm going to do a question of the night, a real easy one, a fun one. But first, I want to hit our.
Steve prepped for this shit.
You right?
I had an hour.
He's excited.
Okay, so real quick, I want to go over our events that are happening. We have one event in August this month, and that's happening August. What's so funny, Leo? Okay, we've got our Denver, not a tournament, in the 17th. No, it's the 18th
just
and 19th.
over 2 weeks from now.
Yeah, 2 weeks away. It's real soon. I don't know. Have we have many people that have contacted you, Andrew? A few.
Yeah, we've had tens of people.
Yeah.
Better than 0.
Almost 2 tens of people. It's awesome.
So, and maybe if it's too big, it might not be as fun, because it is a very unique tournament that we're doing.
I think most of them so far, correct me if I'm wrong, Andrew, they're people on KLV anyways.
Mostly
like that have contacted you. There's a lot of locals that have not.
Tons of locals. Yeah. It may turn out to be a shit show.
Which I can't remember. I was having a few drinks at CAX. I ran into Exity there, and he's all, "Yeah, I haven't heard from Andrew.
Fuck that,
I want to get the flyer so I can promote it."
I talk to him like once a week at least.
Oh, okay. Well, he said he wanted to get like a flyer artwork from you so he could put it up or something to try to tell the locals there.
That cocksucker right now.
Oh, by the way, we're not a family show.
Oh,
yeah. So stick that in your pipe and smoke it. So anyway, we also have another event coming up. It's not our event. It's actually Steve Barbie's event in Eagle, Idaho. We're doing Grinkers again. Grinkers 5, is that right?
Grinkfest 5, yes, that's correct.
Grinkfest 5. That is in October. It's always in October. This time it's on a Friday, Saturday, 13th, 14th, and some people come early on the 12th and party as well. It's up to you, but the main tournament event is on the Friday and Saturday, which is 12th and 13th. So come out to that. It's 13th, a lot of fun.
Friday the 13th, I think, is the...
Friday is the 13th. Friday the 13th.
Oh. Yep.
And I don't know if
we have a dark game night that time.
There's already over 60 or 70 people signed up for that.
Yeah, I think we're up to about 72. I haven't updated it in a few days.
Yeah, so I don't know if there's still rooms available. That's next door to Grinkers, but it is a freaking blast. I look forward to this event every year, as we all do. So if you haven't been, if you're even a remotely arcade person, you'll have a blast. It's just the games are so pristine and kept so great, and most everything works awesome. You don't walk up to a machine and your assault tank doesn't rotate to the left, that kind of thing. Or Lewis. But yeah, no, it's a good time. Good time. I see.
He will never bring games to CAX again, ever again.
So I noticed Papa Fritz is in the chat, and he usually is. He's always at a Grinkfest. So
yeah,
and he's a
and also he lives 30 minutes away.
Right.
He only lives 30 minutes away. But still not far enough away to
drive out of hibernation once per year. Is to go to Grinkers.
Far enough away that he didn't want to drive away from the puke.
Like this. Probably not at 3 a.m.
I will leave it at that. So anyway, I'm going to throw out a question of the week. And this is kind of a fun one. If nobody was looking, What game would you want to push off a roof?
Oh shit! I'll go
It just
first.
pisses you off. You're like, fuck this thing. Fuck.
White
So-
button defenders.
So I'm gonna pick somebody at random.
I know you just said that to be funny.
I think I'll pick
Not
Jim.
truthfully.
Jim has some games up there he doesn't like.
Well, I don't know. You sprung this on us. I need some time to think.
I know. We usually have like an email.
All right. Does anybody have an answer off the top of
I
their head?
already know. Okay,
Okay, then you go first, and pick somebody after you go, and introduce yourself too.
All right. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, he's not great.
Okay. I definitely 100% pick Missile Command. I'm sorry. I hate that game. Push Missile Command completely.
Look at me.
Watch my fist. You are Missile Command. I'm pushing you off the roof. No matter what I do, Missile Command will never be in my top high scores, and I'm okay with that. Watch, you are Missile Command. We are done.
They're never a video podcast.
This is great. That's why I said when nobody's looking, because I know that a lot of us here are hardcore purists, Andrew, and would never push anything off a roof. I don't think, but. This is if nobody's looking.
I'm telling you guys right now, I'm on a roof. Literally, you don't see behind me. There's a Missile Command. I'm pushing it off right now. I hate Missile Command.
It runs up way too hard. Way too fast.
Well, Mr. Awesome is going to be knocking on your door here soon.
Oh, I know. But seriously, hey guys, don't tell anybody. Anyways, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to push my Missile Command off the roof and then pass it to, let's say, Chris Gack.
Howdy. So, are we supposed to introduce ourselves?
Yeah,
We missed it.
actually, no. So, Jacob, give us an
Back
intro.
up.
Who are you?
Hi, I'm Jacob. I'm also the Wooden Arcade on all the other Smurf.
And you, what do you do? Like, what makes
You
you?
can do a short plug.
I collect said arcade machines, and I also make arcade wood art at the Wooden Arcade. Feel free to check it out if you want, but that's the deal.
The Wooden Arcade, where we find that on Facebook or woodenarcade.com?
I would say you can check the woodenarcade.com. That's going to be the website. You got artwork there. There's also Facebook, Instagram. I would say Facebook and Instagram are the main two. I do have Twitter and all that other, but it's mostly Facebook and Instagram.
And are you one of the co-creators of the the Donkey, what's it called? Donkey
Kong Club.
Kong Club. Yes.
So I came up with an idea for a Kong Club. So I do love myself some Donkey Kong, and through searching through Facebook and Instagram, there's not really a lot of Donkey Kong sites, so I decided, might as well create a Donkey Kong Facebook page. So I decided to create Kong Club. So it's with double K's, KONGKLUB. If you guys love Kong, join us. We just post pictures of old flyers and our scores. It's the amateur level Kong Club. It's pretty awesome. I was walking around CAX with Kong Club shirts, trying to give away stickers, and nobody knew who I was. So,
well, we only barely crossed paths, but I recognize you.
It was nice to see Carrie. It was nice to see Chris. It was good to see you guys, and Jimbo. It was good to see you guys. I'm sorry I didn't get to have enough time to play a game, but Carrie, I'm gonna challenge you next year to a game of Gyrus on your own, because I didn't get to, but I would love to.
I thought he was going to say
All right.
Yeah.
Ooh, now I have now I have a
Yeah.
now I have a reason to practice. I love that game. It's hard in that environment because you can't hear the music. It's so loud.
Yeah.
Everywhere, and it's like the music is so good.
I dare to say Gyrus is top 3 best arcade soundtracks. I have to say I love that. I love that game.
Yeah, great game.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But you know who it was? There was two Gyrus there. There was one carry. I think maybe the other one was Gloths, right?
Oh yeah,
there-
yeah. I don't know who brought.
There was another one, but I wouldn't touch it. I knew carries, so I was gonna play Gary's.
Oh, nice.
I played it the whole time. But the high score there, definitely couldn't touch it. It was good.
Yeah. Cool. Well, I'm sorry that unfortunately mine does not. Even though I put the high save score chip in there, it doesn't save. So.
Yeah.
Huh.
Which is probably best for my ego because I wouldn't be able to touch. Much like most of my games, actually, probably all of my games that do save high scores, like I'm wiped off my own board on everything.
All right.
I just had a great
Alright.
idea. What?
Yeah,
You know,
you stalled. You have a little bit of time now.
Okay.
to
So
answer.
I'm gonna say if any of you guys love wooden arcade art, visit thewoodenarcade.com or follow the Wooden Arcade on Facebook or Instagram. Second of all, if you love Donkey Kong, as I do, is one of my top 3, please check out Kong Club on Facebook. Only Kong Club with 2 Ks. It's awesome, but enough self-promotion. It's enough of that.
What about wooden missile command?
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Now you're getting all these orders for missile command art.
No.
Oh my God.
Push it. I push it, missile command. Push it off the cliff.
Hey. What?
Uh-oh.
Careful,
My
mister.
eyes are burning. My eyes are burning.
Yeah.
A founding member says, I don't know.
Well, I'll
Yeah.
go next. I got one.
All right, Jimbo.
Donkey Kong.
Hey, Jimbo, introduce yourself. Who's your daddy and what does he do?
Oh shit!
I'm going to ask you a big question.
Questions.
I don't even play sounds. Jim Odini on Clav. Yeah, there it is. Hi guys.
He flicks on YouTube.
Yep, Dinky Flicks.
Yep. It's in my whatever this lower third, assuming it's working. Well, I'm trying to think of games I just don't give two shits about, and even and the first one that honestly comes to mind is Donkey Kong.
Oh, no way.
Yeah.
So get some interesting answers of this.
Yeah. So
That's
Jacob,
okay.
I'm pushing it off
yeah.
off the cliff.
Jimbo, that means you're gonna have to pass it to me next. I'm just saying.
Oh, this will be good.
Tucky's roof.
I honestly, I just don't care about the game. I like Donkey Kong Jr., but I don't like, even after watching like King of Kong and stuff and all the hype it gets. That's one game I walk past every time. I have no desire to play it. But it doesn't mean it's a bad game. But you know, like Mock was saying, we would never actually do that because I'd be like, "Ooh, a Nintendo cabinet." But
Like a controller for $1,000.
I think that what gets me in the end about it is like the randomness. And if you guys want to throw out some other great random games where every game you play is always super random like that, I would love to hear it too. Arkanoid, yeah, I have Arkanoid. That's another good one. But I'm always up for it. But I always like those ones where you don't, where it's not those continue games. So, you know.
yeah. All right, so yeah, there it is. I gotta pass it to Gak. He's got a good one. I'm sure he's gonna stab me back here. I'm waiting for it. Hang on. There. Now introduce yourself.
All right.
Cheyenne.
My name's Chris Gak on various forums and beer stuff, whatever.
And maybe a brand new YouTube channel.
I just started a YouTube channel with a little teaser video.
Impressive teaser video, by the way.
So it's called
big production for that.
It's called Arts and Craft with Gak. And so the idea there is, you know, my wife and I have gone wine tasting a lot over the years. And whenever we go wine tasting, they always talk about pairing the wine with certain cheeses or meats or fruits, right? So I kind of wanted to make it fun and, you know, combine the two things. I really enjoy craft beer and retro games. So I'll find something in common between whether it's a name or artwork or whatever, between the beer and the game, and I pair them. So, like, for example, you know, I've got one I did for, it's called The Hermit is the name of the beer. and I paired that with one of my games I really enjoy, which is Hunchback. So kind of Hermit Hunchback kind of ties in together. So,
Nice.
That's
so
nice.
I've already
Cute.
I've got about 5 videos I've filmed already. I just gotta finish up editing them. I've been a little busy this last week, so with that. So yeah.
Hey, Gak, I gotta show you. Can you guys hear me right now?
Yep.
Uh-huh.
I gotta show you what I'm eating right now because this is hilarious. I'm eating a wine and cheese plate right now.
There you go.
Oh, nice.
Oh my god,
That's the way to do it.
Awesome.
I think that's hilarious. Just throwing it out there.
So I'm gonna kind of show my age here a little bit. I think I love playing the arcades all the way through the 80s, but pretty much around 1990, I was out of high school, chasing girls, starting to drink. So I wasn't playing.
Something you started and never stopped doing.
Yeah. All right, there you go. So I just could not ever get into the fighter games. So Street Fighter,
nice.
any one of them, all of them. Sorry, they're all going off the roof.
Oh my god!
See, that's totally believable though, because people are either into those or they're not.
And I really enjoyed watching the other guys play in the arcades because they were so competitive and the crowds would get into it. But I would be like, okay, I'm going to try this out. And just like I'm dead in, like a minute or less, I'm just getting schooled. I can't handle it.
It's a huge learning curve for Street Fighter too. If you don't know what you're doing, you're fucked.
If they did it,
I think Karate Champ's a tougher game to pick up though than Street Fighter.
I was just gonna say, if it was more like Karate Champ, I probably could do all right.
What do you
Give me 2 joysticks?
What do you
No
guys think
buttons.
about a Karate Champ for the not a tournament? Do you think that would be a good one?
2-player, yeah.
Yeah.
Because one person controls
Yeah,
the
actually,
movement,
4-player.
the other one does the. That would be 4 people. Yeah.
Me and my brother used to play Karate Champ on the NES, which is no comparison, but all I gotta say is that Karate Champ was right next to Carrie's Gyrus, and there was 2 people playing at all times, so I had to play Gyrus like this the whole time because I wasn't trying to make any human interactions.
People like
you're
Karate
touching my
Champ.
arms.
Yeah.
I like Karate Champ. I think it's fun.
Yeah, it is the darling of CACs. I tell you, last year too, I had people thanking me for bringing it when I walked up. There was a credit problem last year, and whenever I come to kind of check on the machine, people would thank me for bringing it. They were so
that's so
excited.
cool.
It was awesome. Yeah, it really was.
There was more competition on that game than on Street Fighter. I don't know, I didn't play in the tournament, but I only played 1 or 2 people, and I played for a while that knew what they were doing in the game. It was kind of sad, but Karate Champ, I played 2 guys that I would say were on the same level, and it was a lot of fun.
Do you think besides Street Fighter, we all know that was kind of the surge of competitive versus fighters, but Karate Champ is I can't think of anything like that at that time that did anything like that at all, the competitive fighters. I mean, that's one of the first. I can think of one earlier.
Well, it really wasn't a competitive fighter, but Joust, you could do that, and so could you on Mario Brothers if you really wanted to. But those weren't designed that way.
Fighting,
really.
but fighting, the only thing between what was that, 84 was Karate Champ.
Well, they actually
the only
made
thing
2 Karate Champs, didn't they?
Yeah, they made
Karate
the
Champ
player versus player, and they made the 1 player. Yeah. But the only thing I can think of between 84 and Street Fighter 2, which I think was 92, would be Street Fighter 1. That was 89. There was a huge, that's 5 years. I don't know. Were there other, did people know off the top of their heads or can look
not
that up?
competitive ones. There's that.
What year did Pit Fighter come out? That might have been before. Was that before Street Fighter?
That was 90s.
That was later.
Okay.
Yeah.
That was okay.
Because
they were doing the motion capture stuff.
What is Karate Champ, 86 or 85, somewhere around there? I'm
84,
guessing.
I thought.
84, yeah. I don't think there's anything competitive fighter that I can think of.
In that 5-year stretch. And even Street Fighter 1 was kind of under the
move
radar.
list. The move list alone on Karate Champ is huge. You look at that.
Oh, it's a big table.
Yeah. And you pull the joysticks apart. You do a roundhouse. So you do up. You do a backflip. You go down. You do.
And then there's moves that cover. It all depends on how far away your opponent is. So there's up close moves. There's far away moves.
Yep.
Yeah, it's nuts. And you really, as soon as you close that gap, it's do or die. It's like
less moves you have in your arsenal when you're up close.
Yeah. That's why there's like you look at the timer and it counts down from like 30 seconds really pretty fast. And then you look at like Street Fighter and it's 99 seconds, like a legit 99 seconds. And that's because, you know what I mean? And
there's moves that'll instantly take you out, you know, like the roundhouse to the face or the jump kick to the face. You know, those are just instant 1 point and you're out, you know, things.
Well, you need 2 full points, and those are full pointers.
Yeah, those are full pointers, So
most of
All
the
right,
time.
I'm going to pass it on to Leo.
Hey, thank you. All right, Leo, I'm a LBAS NT7 on Clav. This is a game that I actually just started playing a couple of years ago, and I don't know what people seem to love it, but I can't stand Wacko. I really hate that game with a passion.
Perfect. I really enjoy that. So that's a good one to tag me on.
I've played in the past couple of tournaments that everyone's at the various events, and I've played it like once or twice, and then just it's time to move on. I don't know. I'm not good at it, so maybe that's part of the frustration. But it's not a fun game for me at all, and I would gleefully push that son of a bitch right off a cliff. So.
Oh, no. Got another one.
You know what would happen is it'll probably land, and then the control panel's flat and like perfect to play.
Straighten out the controller.
Wow, damn it! I thought of a better one. Fuck.
God damn. Wacko. I mean, you can come back, Jim. That's fine. But wow, so Leo, like, what's your best score at Wacko? Like, or like, what's your big problem with it?
Maybe it's just the fact that it's the separate knobs for like the moving and like the shooting of it. I'd always like. I end up having like one head on like another body, and like I can never get that straight. Like I think I made it to like the 3rd level once, and that was like my best score ever. And that's like, yeah, exactly.
All right, Leo, so you're gonna be here in Denver. We'll play some Wacko.
All right.
Let's like work on Wacko for you, because like I honestly like
work on
Wacko. Like
Zyla, help us carry this to your roof.
Work on Wacko. And if you have to push one off, please push hers off and not mine.
Yes, absolutely.
The best thing about that game is the little happy dance at the end.
There's a little happy dance.
Oh yeah, he does a little.
That's my favorite part. If I could just push a button and he just does the dance, I'd be happy. Yeah.
He kind of dances like Stanley from Donkey Kong 3.
He does actually, yeah.
Well, Andrew, since you were the Wacko defender, I will pass it over to you.
Ooh, that's 2 games.
Well, if I'm going to be a Wacko defender, I'm going to not be a defender.
Well, that's going to be a Hellcade of a cabinet.
Yeah, Steve, can you play Wacko and defender on your main cabinet?
I can play. Yeah, I can actually.
Nice.
No, I mean, so like I pan defender at every opportunity. So I mean, like part of me is like I have to just go for defender, and I threw that one out there before we were doing the round table. No, actually, so I'm gonna go. I mean, defender would be too easy, so I'll go Mortal Kombat.
Oh,
wow.
Ah. No, that'd be too hard to pitch off the roof because it's so fucking heavy.
Right. But it would be so satisfying when it actually hits. Because it's a 5-inch monitor and that giant-ass fucking midway cabinet.
Yeah.
No. You need to set up like three cameras from different angles at like 120 frames a second so that you can really capture it.
Yeah. Right before it hit the ground, when you say finish him, or like just to like really like nail the point home.
No, it would go. Andrew wins.
So Street Fighter, Street Fighter 1, they had it in like the youth center in Aspen where I grew up, with the big button and everything. So I remember playing the original Street Fighter, and then I remember when Street Fighter 2 hit the arcade, and it was like, that was like groundbreaking, holy shit. I was still in high school and still going to the arcade, so all you guys were picking up chicks. I was not one of them. So yeah, I was still in the arcade in my late teens, all through high school, really. And then I remember Street Fighter came out, and it was like, holy shit, that was like the thing. And I remember it out, and I still struggle with pull back to block. Why is there a
he's trying to block right now.
like see and
we're losing you.
Yeah.
We lost you after back to block.
I think you're back though.
Yeah.
All right.
No, you're back.
All right. Well,
To block.
all right. So back to block. Back to block sucks. I hate it. It drives me nuts. It makes me not enjoy playing that as a fighting game. So
See, and that's why I don't like Mortal Kombat as much, because I hate having a dedicated button to block.
The button,
it
I know.
takes that shit out of there, and it's in a weird ass spot. But I mean, I'm sure the Mortal Kombat people will be like, "Well, Street Fighter's dumb for the same reason that you're saying." You know,
right.
like with the back.
Why would you pull back to block? So yeah, back to block makes sense. Street Fighter was first. It always made more sense to me. Mortal Kombat, I was great in the arcades back in that time at Street Fighter, at least locally. I mean, I'm just a mediocre player, but like locally, it's like fuck, and then Mortal Kombat came along, and I was just a bumbling fucking idiot, and I just never got it. I never enjoyed it.
It's hard. It's not intuitive. I don't think like Street Fighter is. You know, especially coming from Street Fighter background, you feel like a virgin in a whorehouse. Like, what do I do here?
Yeah, it's like I don't know how to fight. Like, where's my fucking uppercut?
Yeah,
a whorehouse.
I know, right?
Why is my dick dripping?
I forgot my underwear and my dick's in the underwear.
It's never used to do that. I went to the whorehouse. And now it smells like cheese and it drips.
Cheese and socks.
I don't remember drinking razor blades.
Oh God!
It's got a runny nose.
Looks like Snuffleupagus has a cold again.
Oh boy!
Ew.
All right, Steve. You follow Snuffleupagus, dude. Oh, you.
Okay, so some people like this game. I think the cab art on it is really awesome, but I freaking hate the game. It's got horrible hit detection. It is called Kangaroo. All played it. I think it's poorly programmed. It's got ghosting all over the fucking place. Hit detection bullshit. I'm gonna push it like this, and then it goes off.
I give it a good kick in the coin door.
I just think it's a shitty programmed game, and everybody just gushes over it. I think it's dog shit. So.
Actually, a lot of people don't hate on Kangaroo. To be fair, that's why they're always so damn cheap.
Yeah,
like they pop up all the time for like $200.
I mean, if you notice, like if you and another monkey are on the same level, you're all flickering all over the place. It's like they don't know what the fuck they're doing, and they program that. They're like, fuck it, they'll love it.
They got the people from Atari 2600 Pac-Man.
Yes, I was just thinking that.
Yeah, it's an Atari 2600 Pac-Man where everything's flickering. Yeah, it's a lot like that. It's just
we would say Kangapoo.
Yeah, exactly. And not only that, but you get to the very top almost, and then an apple hits you in the head. You know, it's like a lot of cheap deaths in that game. It just pisses me off. So
the one level that pisses me off, like probably the most in that game, is the one with the the platforms. They're like stacked. They're like line. They're like, it's like at the very bottom there's like one and then one up here and here, and you're doing these little jumps, and it's real easy to go right off of it.
Oh yeah, and you gotta jump perfect. Even though it looks like you should be able to land on that fine, no, you'll go right through it.
I have to say, I actually enjoyed that game on the 2600, and I think the arcade is much more difficult. But I didn't think it was a bad port, but I didn't know anything else at the time. I didn't know it was an arcade game when I was a kid.
Yeah.
Yeah, one of the first games I had was Arabian, which the mechanics are almost identical. You know, you don't jump with the button, you jump with the joystick by pushing it up.
Yeah.
So your joystick has to be like pretty dialed to really pull it off.
But at least Arabian is programmed well. I mean, the hit detection and everything seems pretty spot on, and it's not like Kangaroo where you're punching stuff and nothing happens and garb.
But how do you really feel about it?
Yeah.
I'm venting here. So okay, so who hasn't gone yet? Has Seabart gone?
Doubtful.
No, I have not.
See, Bart?
Well, see, someone was knocking missile command, so I decided I would turn it on so you can see the marquee. Just out of spite. But, apparently, the grounding clip came off the front interlock and made contact with something, and now I got a blown fuse I got to deal with.
Oh, shit.
Exactly.
Yeah. The end.
Yeah, pretty much. So what's the question of the day? I keep hearing people wanting to throw stuff off of cliffs.
If nobody was looking, what game
Just a
did you
roof,
grab? Yeah, and
Oh,
push
just
off
a roof. Okay. I don't think I can carry up anything up a cliff.
You got an elevator.
Okay, we'll assume
All
we
you
have
have
an
to do is
elevator.
push.
You're looking at your own.
Nothing in this room. Nothing in this room. Takes way too much effort to move.
Good answer.
I
That
really don't
Starship's
have
pissing
an
me
answer
off.
for that one. Did play something on a 16-1 at the pub
Ooh,
about a month
Track
ago.
and field would be a good one too. I keep thinking of
Yeah, no, I think it
more.
took me 3 months. I ain't going off any cliffs.
Well, I don't think any of us would actually do it, but these are games that we wouldn't give two shits.
Yeah.
There was a crappy one. It was on I think it was a 61 board at the pub there, and I forget the name on the third or fourth page, and it was some Japanese ripoff, and it's you die as soon as you start. Or at least I did. I fucking was horrible at it. I'm blaming the joystick though, but if that game was in the cabinet, it would go off the cliff.
What game are we talking about?
You said
I have
Japanese
no
game,
idea.
right?
It was some Japanese things at the third
Okay.
or fourth screen on 61.
There we go.
That's not an. That's not an answer. Come on.
Yeah, I know, because I'm Googling right now. Freaking 61.
Why are you here? How long have you
game
been sitting
was.
here?
All right, we'll get back
All
to
right,
Chris.
I'll give my
Yeah.
answer, and then you
Let's
have a
go to
little time to
Harry.
think,
Yeah.
Seabar. Yeah, come to me. All right, because I actually had an answer immediately.
I'm
Fucking
defender.
Popeye.
Oh,
Oh, yeah, that does. Yeah, that is
It's-
a crappy game.
Yeah, I mean, first of all, I'm not a fan of platformers anyway. So to me, the gameplay, complete shit. And then that sound. Oh my god, it's so annoying.
Would we
Like-
say Nintendo don't?
Yes,
Yeah,
yes,
right.
exactly. We would say Nintendo.
Get it?
Don't.
No.
Yeah, no,
We'll
there's-
hear more about that later.
because yeah.
Nice.
It's like just having it on is annoying. Like everything, all the other games that, at least if they're on, they're just there showing their art and making
It's a
some sort
crime
of,
at you and just have the game on. You're just walking by. You're like, it's on.
it's just horrible. It is
Turn that
horrible.
shit off.
Yeah. So there you go. That's what I'd be shoving the Popeye off. All right.
That's a great question
Are
though.
you-
Like, which would be worse, Popeye or Roadrunner for fucking attract mode? Or what's game that has the worst attract mode of all time? We'll save that one for later. But like,
What's Death Race? Hearing that shit at one spot.
well, but that's someone playing it. That's on attract mode, right? It doesn't play the sound.
No, I
does
think-
does it? Does it?
I thought it did.
I thought it just had the. I mean, like,
I remember
before
hearing
playing it,
that for the longest time and being like, "What is it?" Yeah.
Oh, it's the
Yeah.
worst sound.
Nice.
Games are the most annoying, like attract mode.
Yeah, most annoying track mode.
Isn't
Sounds
like
like-
track and
yeah.
field have a pretty annoying one with the
Oh, that's not even close to Popeye or Roadrunner.
oh
Pole position. Pole position.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
oh yeah.
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 All right.
But is that worse than meep meep or Popeye?
Beep, beep, beep.
Yeah.
Oh god.
When I used to work at a 7-Eleven, we had a Roadrunner arcade cabinet. The thing drove us crazy. We'd unplug it when we worked. Every kids would come in. It's not working. No, it's broken.
So you sort of worked in an arcade for a little while.
Yeah, so, we had 2 arcade games at all times. So
Ooh,
that's where I got good. That's where I got good at like Black
Castlevania.
Tiger.
Castlevania.
Castlevania is terrible on the verses, and you can't shut it off the attract sounds.
I would totally push
You
it.
just hear the death. You hear it. It's a really short. It's like you hear him getting hit. You hear whip a few times, and then it's like "Boo-doo-doo-doo-doo,"
Yeah.
and the death.
The
And
death
it's just
sound.
like rinse and repeat. It's so fucking annoying.
It's always the same first level. He plays it for shit.
Yep.
And he dies.
Yeah. The computer was shitty at it.
I mean, the only thing that's like good about that with the red tents is you can pop the cover and just turn the volume down in the track mode for Castlevania. And I'll turn it up when I want to play it.
There you
Same
go.
thing with Dr. Mario. I keep one side.
Dr.
I always
Mario,
put the
same
games
thing.
with annoying tracked on the same side, so I can just keep it muted. Oh.
I need to put more tequila in my drink. I'll be right back.
All right.
Oh,
Well,
man,
and I
pick it
will.
up a
I'll
notch.
go ahead and I'll pass it. Actually, I'll give. Seabart, are you ready, or should I pass it to Buffett? Ready?
Yeah, come on.
Go to
You
Buffett's.
are?
I just
Okay.
found the page I need.
He's still Googling.
Okay, he's still googling. Buffett, go.
Arcade Buffet.
What
Anyway.
the fuck?
Are you talking through like a rotary phone? Like I
can't hear you through the boobs.
Step up closer to the mic, please.
He's in a drive-through.
Are those eraser heads?
Oh, no.
These are my pencils. They will speak for me.
There are
It
many
looks
like
a
it, but this one is mine.
Like a Chuck E. Cheese head.
Oh.
Nice. What the hell is
Okay,
going on?
now. All right. Sorry,
All right,
sorry,
I guess-
Seabart, you're up.
Okay, I found it. It's called
Excellent.
Amadar. A-M-I-D-A-R.
Amadar?
Amidar.
Amadar.
Amadar.
I
We had
kept
that on
dying on that
weekly.
fucking thing. Put the dollar and get 3 lives and die within the first 2 minutes. Seconds, my God.
So you were in our tournament for that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, tournament for that?
First in line.
the weekly game.
Oh. I haven't been paying attention to those damn things. Only because I... Well,
That's
never-
another thing we have to talk about tonight.
Yeah, right.
That's another topic. Yeah, sorry.
Next topic.
Anywho, I think I was the last one. So Buffett's kind of gone, or...
I don't know. I'm here. Can you hear me?
We
Oh.
can kind of hear
We
you.
hear you better now.
I haven't changed anything from last week. So. I don't know. Anyway, if you can hear me, it would be missile command. Just like Wooden Arcade. I can't stand that thing.
Oh, 2 votes for Missile Command.
Yeah.
Ouch.
No, I really wish I didn't blow that fuse and I could have the marquee on.
Those are classics, people.
Yeah, well,
It is a frustrating game. It doesn't, it's like you're thinking, oh, okay, I'm kind of getting this, and then bam, like, okay, I'll just madly.
that's not it. I hate the one I have.
Oh,
Push it off the damn roof.
oh.
It's very defendery.
Otherwise, it's fine. That's on the one I
Okay. Well, that's a little different. That's a little different twist. That would be that could be a different question of the week. Which one of your games would you push off the roof because it drives you fucking nuts?
Yeah, none of them drive me nuts, really. Other than Dragon Man. That one drives me nuts. I'll put that one on.
Oh,
Fuck that
well,
thing.
it would not survive the trip either. That
No,
there.
no. I'm glad it would. Absolutely.
Damn.
But yeah, no, it's just dumb, man. Like, why would I want to play an anime? Like,
It's
Why
Buffett.
would we want to play a DVD player?
yeah,
Buffett behind the cheesecloth or something. Sorry, Buffett.
I didn't think nothing from last week, so I don't know. What else?
Yeah, it's like it's maybe not going through your microphone and going through some other mic. It's very hard to hear what you're saying. You sound very far away, and it cuts out a lot.
Like it's bouncing between those boobies.
Yeah, helicopter Jesus tech support.
Here he comes.
So did everybody go? I think
Yep.
so, right?
I got 2 more. Well, potentially. Well, Buffett
Gino,
already said
what's your follow-up?
he said laser games, right? Buffett did.
Well, yeah. He said Dragon's Lair, but yeah.
More or less.
Ouch.
I won't duplicate that one, but I've got 2 that well, one will piss Andrew off, and I don't know anyone else in here,
These
but
honorable mentions.
I was gonna say, yes, these are Paperboy and 720.
Oh no! How about
I will
the
say
Gallagher
this
game?
at CAX, they had two 720s at CAX, and I didn't see a person on either one the whole weekend.
It's true.
It's a hard game.
The whole weekend. Yeah, I mean, I understand why people like it, but I don't have that. If I was a skater when I was, I had that nostalgia, I'd probably find the game interesting. But it's not even that I don't even want to approach the game. Like I have no interest in playing it.
Not even for free at CAX.
Yeah, and Paperboy, I remember seeing. I remember
for it.
I remember seeing both games in the arcades when I was a kid. I think I played Paperboy like maybe once or twice, but that's a game too where if it's not very approachable, you have to put a lot of time into that. Otherwise, you can lose like instantly. Just
yeah. It helps to watch somebody play it that knows how to play it though, because I've been playing it wrong all these years until I saw like you know what I mean. Like
Joe,
when
I saw Joe playing, he was like going really slow.
Yeah.
Like, whoa.
Yeah, it does help to watch somebody play it who knows how to play it, So, but it is a very hard game to play.
And then I started playing it even slower, where it was too slow, and then the bees start coming up to you just like a 720. And I'm like, I don't ever remember seeing that ever on Paperboy because I was always just hauling ass. I thought it was a race.
Yeah.
And that's your instincts.
What sucks is when you don't have enough money to buy your ticket and you're just fucked. You're like, oh shit, I gotta do tricks to get money so I can buy a ticket. And the bees are chasing me. And then,
Yeah.
It's like,
I mean, I think owning one helps. Like if you weren't good at it back in the day, because it's like you can practice. Like, all right, you need to stack up that next ticket for the next park.
Get ready for it.
And get ready for it. And I mean, the big thing with like a 720 is like there's two very different ways to play it too. And so, like playing for points or playing for medals. And I know that like the big thing that we talk about on Clav and like high scores things, it's all about like playing for points, which makes sense because that's high score territory. But actually, 720 has two different boards, one for the medal score and one for the point score. So we always was going for who could do the best tricks to get the best,
it's fun to watch people play it. Right. Like it was fun to watch Jeff C play it at Drinkers.
Totally.
Yeah.
Every year that was a fun thing to watch.
But I personally have no interest in playing it. Like I would enjoy watching people that know what they're doing play it. But that game more than Paperboy, I enjoy watching 720 being played by someone that knows how to do it. But both games I walk by all the time and just like I just have I have no interest in playing it. But
so if someone were to give you like your choice, like I'm gonna give you for free in your house for 5 years one of these games, which one would you take?
Major Havoc.
Probably
Major Havoc.
Oh, you mean between the two I mentioned?
Yeah, between 720 and Paperboy. Like, all right, they're both like a medium res, high expensive
Paperboy
game.
just for the controls.
Yeah,
Paperboy's fun.
I think more people would like Paperboy too if they would have come over.
More accessible.
Paperboy is way more accessible.
That's funny.
But it'd be nice if Paperboy had a 25-inch monitor.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. So Andrew, on 720, if you do really well, like, and you get like gold, you get stickers, right, for your thing. Do you get a bunch of money for that? So like, eventually, does money not become an issue where you have to worry about getting your ticket?
Well, you still have to do like Jeff C's technique for like getting through like the in between stages where you still have to like spin constantly and doing tricks huge constantly and looking for the flags in each of the little skate parks on your way to the next skate park.
Yeah.
His technique for doing all the stuff in between is the same shit that I try and do.
Okay.
The only difference is that like he's doing stuff to like he'll throw like the slalom to just get through there and get the most points out of a slalom course, and he'll get like a bronze or even like a splat, a tongue award. Whereas like I'll play and it's like for me it's like I'm still racing through like every fucking park. It's like as many tricks as you can do. Like to me it's more aggressive and fast, and I'm still trying to get for the gold on every one of them. And I'm still, I've never done a perfect game on 720, but like, it's still a very different way of playing. In the parks, outside of the parks, it's the same shit because you still got to earn points to get the tickets.
So no matter what, even if you do well at the events, you never really make a ton of money where you don't have to worry about having to make. You still have to do tricks between levels, no matter.
Oh
what.
yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Okay.
It's still a tough game to finish.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. It's a tough game, period. So.
But like I grew up like with skating and snowboarding and stuff like that. So for us, it's like all about the tricks. So like in the arcade playing, where I played, it's like that's what you were going for. And points, like I don't know, like it seems like funny to me, like looking back on points in some games where it's like I never really thought about like my high score on so many of these games, even the games that I'm, relatively good at. It's like it was never about the points; it was about finishing the game.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like I want. It's like I never played Rastan to get a world record. I never played it to get like the biggest points. I just wanted to play the game until I finished it.
Yeah.
720, same thing.
I want to see the ending. Yeah.
I want to get to the end of the game where it's like it's a bunch of shit. And you walk away and you go, yeah, I won.
I conquered it. We used to say that when I was a kid. Like I conquered the game.
Yeah, Forgotten World, same thing. It's like it was never about points. It was all about just like finishing the game, playing through the whole thing was the trick. And so with 720, it was the same thing where it's like I want to finish the game, and you can do that with relative ease. Like once you get the kind of like the hang of like getting the
finish the game.
Right.
Sorry, I just
you turned him into a robot.
There should be like two separate categories. The one like high score and one like high score that actually beat the game, and like just kind of like differentiate the two. Because
even Arkanoid Doe. When I finished that game for the first time not too long ago, it was nowhere near my best score on the game. Like it was just because it's kind of a similar principle where if you want point press, it's a different strategy than if you want to get through the levels.
Yeah.
You're collecting every capsule. You're trying other things. Whereas if you want to get through the levels, you're hanging on. You're avoiding certain capsules, and two completely different.
So you can like use warps and junk to get to the end faster too, right, Jim?
There's no warps in Arkanoid, but
is it?
I thought
you could skip levels.
Yeah, you can skip levels.
Not finish.
No, you go a different.
There's
you
paths.
You can get
different paths. You can go then.
Yeah, you can go left or right, and then if you get the bypass, I think is the name of the capsule. It's a purple capsule with like a pinkish purple with a B on it. That opens up the gates at the bottom, so you can finish the level immediately. You can just exit.
But if you're point pressing, you wouldn't do that. You'd stay on the level, even if you got that one and finish the level.
Yep. Right. You'd get that, and then you'd avoid the sides, and then at the with like one brick remaining, then you would exit because you get 10,000 points with that capsule for exiting early.
I know you and Carrie hate it too, but it's the same deal with like Donkey Kong. Like you can like run through the boards and get like 750 is like the kill screen points you get. But like, these guys now we're getting like 1.2 million points on Donkey Kong, which is like, holy fuck, that's 300,000 points worth of or more. Sorry, of just hanging out on the boards, getting just points.
Yeah. At some point, that's gotta be they gotta max that. Like, be like, this is the absolute possible.
Highest you can get.
Right.
Yeah.
Have you beaten Arkanoid, like the Revenge of Doe version?
Yeah, I posted a video of the ending on Slack a while back. Yeah. Yep. I almost beat Gax at Cax too on Sunday. His dip switches gave you one extra life than the normal default settings, but I got through like 26 or 27 levels, something like that.
So before we talk about Cax, should we talk about the game that we had? What is it, Mr. Do?
Oh, Mr. Do.
Should we talk about that real quick before we talk about Cax? I mean, I don't hate to cut you off, Jim, but
no, keep it on point. That's your job.
Jim just left. Sorry, Jim.
Fuck you.
Oh, well, I wanted to make sure we hit the score thing first before because Cax is going to go on and on for a long time. I have a feeling. So
Yeah.
let's just quickly talk about Mr. Do, who won, and what the next game is.
So if I read,
Uh-oh. What?
Uh-oh.
Repeat that, Gak?
Torrin. So Torrin will get a shot at it at picking next game's week because he got second
Torrin?
place.
Oh, Torrin did? Awesome. Okay.
Yeah, Frizzy got first. Torrin got second.
Awesome.
And Frizzy said he wanted to. I believe I read that somewhere.
Yeah, he put it in the chat that since he had picked Ladybug for the first one.
Is Torrin going
yes.
to text us the next game like tonight or tomorrow or? So
yeah, hopefully sooner the better.
Okay, so
the last one looks like it. It took a couple days to get the game decided, and then another day or two to, get it started. So hopefully we can get started pretty quick.
All right. So if we hear anything, we'll announce it here. If not, it'll be posted, I guess, on Arcade Icons. Correct?
Yeah, and we'll have it on KLV too. We'll start
yes. So people that go to arcadeicons.com can register and or sign in, and you can see what the next tournament game is. We all have to kick ourselves in the butt that none of us on the show play. I'm guilty of it. I haven't played lately.
I put up a score.
Did you?
I joined in.
All right.
I popped my Mark. I popped my MAME cherry. I've now played something in MAME.
Wow. I'm so proud.
So that means you got to put on your pimp hat,
Yeah, right.
It hurt.
Do you have to have like a ROM to play games on MAME? Because I tried to play Ladybug on that a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
Oh fuck, I was doing it wrong then. All right, never mind.
Well, the other thing is,
Leo, I just went on the computer.
If there is a link, we try to post it in that first initial post that there's the archive.
Yeah.
Arcade Archive. And so there actually was one for Mr. Do on that. So,
I will check that out then.
Especially if it's a 4-way game and only like one button or 2 buttons, it's pretty easy on a keyboard. But yeah, if it's like an 8-way game and multiple buttons, it's going to be really hard on a keyboard. Yeah.
Got it. That makes. I'll check that out because I do want to play these games a little bit.
Awesome.
I couldn't figure out where that was coming from. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Because it's been happening. Yeah, but like the whole time I thought it was something
nasty feedback coming
real quick, guys. I'm sorry to interrupt, but my son is just dying to answer a question before he goes to bed, and I thought Jimbo would like this. I'm going to give it to him. What is the worst arcade game, Oliver?
It is Donkey Kong.
Nice. Good job.
He's got it in the house at all times anyway. So, this is my son Oliver. He's going to be coming to CAX for his first year next year. So get ready to see all those guys.
Hey.
Anyway.
Very cool.
Stop cutting Donkey Kong. Wipe my butt.
Yeah.
Okay. What you need to say one more thing? Oh my gosh, we're taking. Okay. What do you need to say?
My favorite game is Breath of the Wild.
Oh,
all
right. So a little more modern.
And on the Switch, I'm like super far. It's like I think I'm to Goron City already.
That's all. How many temples have you beaten?
What?
How many temples?
Shrines. I think that I've been like a couple. Like that, like 15.
Oh wow, that's nice.
Cool.
Good job.
I've had a lot.
It's a pretty game.
It's a really fun game. It's one of my favorites. Sorry.
And to let him go for the night before you go to bed. Sorry, guys. He was really wanting it. What is your most? What is your most favorite arcade game so far today? Oh my gosh, I'm giving this to a 7-year-old. What's a 7-year-old in 2017's favorite arcade game today?
Let me think. The Raspberry Pi.
Oh, oh no.
AKA mean.
You're making Mock proud.
No, that's not it. That's not it.
That's funny.
So the ticking hum was Buffett then. It wasn't my game backfeeding on me.
No, it was Buffett.
It's ended right when I turned it off. It's like, oh, crap.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, it was Buffett.
Where'd Jimbo go? I was going to ask him about CAX.
Oh, no.
All right, so
So
who
we
wants
lost
to start
the
the
feed.
CAX
Oh,
conversation?
we lost
lost
video. Come back, Jim.
Oh,
YouTube
All right,
feed
well,
cut
Carrie
off.
and
Hey, Mock,
what?
the YouTube feed cut off.
Oh.
oh,
Really?
Did it?
did it?
We got shut down.
Oh,
Oh, shoot.
They saw a kid with his shirt off, and we got shut down. I
Oh,
guess.
no.
No, we're still live.
Yeah,
so
no,
I
we're
just
still
posted
going.
back in there.
Yeah, let me check it, see if...
Yeah. Oh. Are we? Yeah, we're still live.
So
it's still going.
weird. Mine says an error occurred.
yeah,
Yeah.
same with me. Something went wrong. Tap to. I was just checking on my phone.
I'm hitting refresh on it. Let's see.
Yeah, same here.
Oh, somebody else had did. No, now it's working for me.
No, mine works fine. I've refreshed,
Yeah.
but it was still working fine.
So it still says we're broadcasting at the top there.
All right.
Yeah, that's weird.
Sweet. All right. Yeah.
There's no. If we can't have shirtless kids, then I'm out. I'm just gonna say that right now.
Yeah.
We're just going to play a
Ew.
kid.
Okay, so when Jim
Yep.
Jim
So
gets
we've
back, we
confirmation.
can talk to Jimbo too. But I wanted to hear from Carrie, Jim, and Gak about CAX, about how it was improved, how much better it was, how much fun you had, what games you played, what you didn't like, what you liked, all that good stuff. So go.
How tired we are.
Yeah. You had home at 3 in the morning to unload games. I read something about that.
Yeah, somebody was like, "Hey, is your buddy that Mock guy here? I got a few words I want to tell him." I was like straight from the owner of the thing. Man. I was like, "Woo, man, he's got a."
Holding a grudge.
You're
My
not serious,
goodness.
are you?
I'm just kidding.
So glad that guy didn't show up this year.
Yeah.
Well, I guess it was my last time. My first and
Well,
last.
Carrie, you can start if you want, or you want to wait for Jim, or how do you want to do it? Because you guys kind of were.
Oh, Jim's back.
Yeah.
Hey, Jim,
Yeah.
sorry for cutting you off there. I didn't mean to do that. I just
Cut me off.
I cut you off here in mid-sentence. I didn't mean to do that. I was just moving things along to get the score in, and now I want to hear about CAX. So now that we're on CAX mode.
It's not the
Oh, way
first
back
time
then.
you cut him
I'm
off.
like, you didn't cut me off. I'm like, what are you talking about? Yeah.
No, that's right. Well, I didn't mean to do that. But anyway, yeah, I
on
want to
the
hear all about CAX.
And I'll
Okay.
just say on our game of the week, Mr. Do, that music is fucking terrible. That is awful background noise. Oh my god. Yeah. Oh yes. It's like stuff nightmares is made.
Well, that and
like I said, it's like
clown in pajamas, is coming to get you.
Right, it's like-
clown.
yeah. The It Clown. Totally. It's all of a sudden it becomes like that. That's what killed the dinosaurs. Yeah, oh, nice. Beep beep, Richie. Yeah. Down here we all float.
Oh, float down here.
We all float.
Mr. Do.
So, and I'll say my voice is still fucked up from CAX. Like I lost my voice shouting over the crowds and the everything. So I know I sound oh my God, it was so loud. I sound kind of rough. It was great. Actually, it was a really good show. I'm saying that partly because I brought only 10 games. I know that GAC brought like 22, something like that. So all my 10 games all worked when I brought them, and they all worked at the end.
Well, I
So
can't
that
say
was
that
like,
for mine.
woo.
So.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I had
That is
the
something,
actor. Yeah, totally. Reactor acted up a little bit one day. John Colpe actually let me know that it had gone into test mode. But Reactor is really finicky. It just needs to be cooed at it. I just need to like talk to it and tell it it's a good game. Exactly. I open up the back door and I push all the little connectors and I'm like, yes, you got this. And then it does.
You know, in the chat says, and you didn't have to drive the truck.
Yes. Oh my God, that was so nice. Gino. Yes, yeah, exactly. Yeah, Gino's in the chat. That made a huge
If Terry
difference.
was the master, she had 2 slaves that were hauling the games. Towards the end, yeah.
Hey, it was it was a group.
He had
it was
a
a group.
super
It was a
dolly,
group
though.
effort.
I need one of those.
Well, yeah, when we were on the loadout, and yeah, Gino was a trooper. And I don't know if I should go into the nightmare with budget. Poor fucking Gino. Actually, I will. Although it seems almost unfair because he's in the chat and he's not on here. But so Gino and I talked.
By budget, you mean budget truck?
Yeah, budget truck. We reserved. So Gino called a couple of months ago and reserved a truck through budget, and a 16-foot liftgate. And he, went down, made certain this was going to be the right kind of truck, all this kind of good stuff, did everything right. And
Penske.
yeah, so Gino is going. Oh, was it Penske? Okay, there we go. Sorry.
Correct. Safe word is Penske. So this year we're really doing it right because number one, Gino's driving and not me, and he goes. So he's going to pick up the truck on Thursday, and we might even. Our plan was to even try to load up some of the games on Thursday. Certainly his, and maybe start mine, and this way we can get an early start for Friday. It's going to be fabulous. So I'm at work, and Gino calls or texts. Oh, he calls. That's right, because I'm babysitting a conference, and there was a little snag with our truck, in that Penske gave it away to someone else, but the plan was that this person, I guess, showed it. They had a smaller truck reserved, and then saw our truck and coveted it, and said, "Oh, I want that." And they said, "Okay, but you have to have it back by 3 o'clock because we have somebody coming at 5 to pick it up." No problem, says the rocket scientist.
Says
and
fuckface.
yeah, exactly. He says fuckface, dumb fuckface. And so he also says, insurance, I don't need no stinking insurance. And he drives off the lot. And so they call Gino at, like I said, probably 3-ish in the afternoon, and tell him that, well, the truck's not coming back because the brain surgeon there drove it under an overpass that was too low and smashed our truck into the bottom of an overpass. Oh, and by the way, we don't have another 16-foot truck with a lift gate, but you can have one with a ramp if you want to. Sure, that ramp's probably just a little narrower than your fucking dolly, but that would be cool. No. So they were
Fuck you! So YouTube has some video footage of it. It's right here.
Yeah.
Check it out. They were actually filming it.
Oh yes, I've seen that video. That's hilarious, man. 11'8" overpass with a boom.
So enjoy that at your leisure, because he's not the only one. Other people have hit that too.
Oh. There goes the roof of the RV.
It's not his fault.
Oh, yep. I think it happened just like that. So yeah, the rocket scientist. So Gino goes down there and talks to him, and takes a look at our options, which again, not good. And they don't have a truck for us with the 16-foot liftgate, but they find one at a different Penske. And so end of the day, they reserve it for us, but of course we can't have it till the next morning. And they say, well, because obviously reservations are really awesome at Penske, you better show up first thing in the morning. They open at 8, better be there, before then, because, otherwise they might give your truck away. So I don't know what the fuck the purpose of a reservation is, but anyway, So I go and pick up Gino early in the morning, and we're at Penske, at the other Penske office at 7:30. They're not quite open yet. They're turning on their lights and their computers, and they're a little grumpy when we show up, but that's okay. But show up we did, and right, and they said, "Huh? We don't." That reservation, we don't have that. And then they look it up. Oh no, that reservation was for yesterday. You don't have a reservation for today. So apparently the rocket scientists at Penske just did like a fucking copy and paste for the reservation or something. And they never actually made the reservation for Friday morning. They just somehow made it for Thursday night. Gina, so they're all making their morning coffee, and they were grumpy, right? They were grumpy. But anyway, so they had, so the kind of I'll cut through the rest of it. Bottom line, what they had, for a moment they thought they could have us use one and then bring it back the same day, and then maybe they could find us something for Sunday, but that might be kind of hard. Like, no, we're not doing that. But so they finally managed to find a 26-foot truck with a lift gate. Wow. Gino had never driven a large truck before, so huge hats off to him for tackling that, because I would have been like, no, I drove an 18 truck last year, the 18-foot truck last year. No. So yeah, he popped his truck driving cherry with a 26-footer, and he was a champ. He did great. But yeah, awesome. So we got up butt crack of dawn and loaded up games at his house and then my house, and then he ended up driving it down to CAX, and I came down a little bit later. But so I've talked a lot. What I'll say, probably the biggest thing for this year is the addition of a second room, and that was just tremendous.
Agreed.
It made just a huge difference in the layout, in how comfortable it was. It made such a big difference, and I'm really glad that they made that decision, because I remember at the organizational meeting last year, that was one of the things that they had talked about is, how to best avoid, decrease the congestion, improve the flow, and then, the concern is are there going to be enough games? And it was a really good decision. Throughout the conference, throughout the event, I kept, I heard people in the background saying, like, oh, this is so much nicer. Some rooms were cooler. It didn't stink like fart. It was. Yeah, it was great. Point. So, yeah. So, Gak, I've been talking for a while. You want to say something, or Jimbo?
The other thing is the layout of the games. Yeah. It wasn't these stupid curvy rows all over the place that I was amazed to get through.
They still had like nooks to make it interesting, but it was easy to navigate through there. You wouldn't get lost easily, Now,
how did they get it? They got another room, I heard.
Yeah. So where when you first walk in there, the registration's on the right, all those tables.
Yeah.
And then to the left is the main hall where you go into the arcade, right? Yeah. So if you go past the registration on the right, at the end there, before the glass windows, you make a right turn there, and it's on the right side. So basically the wall behind the registration booth.
Yep.
There goes Gak.
Was he going to say both sides? Was there two areas? Was there two sections? Or was it all one big room?
It was two separate rooms.
Okay.
That they had, that was separated by the registration. So essentially where you were last time, they added another room, and it was I don't know, probably about a third the size. And what was cool was they actually put in that room, they put the cocktails. They had a lot of Atari games. I mean, it wasn't all Atari, but they had a big row of Atari, and the Vectors were there. They had a handful.
They had all the Williams machines too.
Yes, on one side. Yep.
So that way, people that paid for the event can play the cocktails, not like before where anybody could play the cocktails, which was lame. And people were like complaining on Club.
They're
They're
having
eating
drinks
their
and
lunch
food
on it and shit.
Yeah.
Which is
Yeah,
okay
exactly.
for my
So, yeah,
cocktail.
nobody-
I wouldn't care, but other people care.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It didn't really bother me, but it was annoying that people were eating and not playing, and so yeah, this way that they were not used as tables.
Yeah. How dare you use my Tron cocktail for your hoagie sandwich?
Greasy fingers.
It is so hard to even find a hoagie sandwich around there because everything to eat is like a mile away unless you
Yes.
want
All right.
Yeah.
How dare you eat your Subway Italian, spicy Italian on my rare Tron cocktail. But yeah, that's what people complained about on Club, is they didn't like people eating their food, and people that didn't even pay for the show. They didn't even have badges. They just were in the hotel. They went over there and they were like playing games, and they're all set to free play, so they're playing. So yeah, that's good that they sectioned off the cocktails. I think that's a good idea. That's really cool.
Yeah, definitely a lot more room, and there were a couple of areas that felt a little tight when it was really busy, but overall, I mean, very open compared to any other year I've ever been there. This was my 8th year going, so. And, it's those tight areas when there's lots of people grouped up together. That's when you start smelling the funky odors,
Yeah.
With it being open, you don't have as much of that.
Now, were all the vendors in the same spot, or did they put those?
No, they
some of the
spread them in.
vendors?
They were in both rooms also.
Both rooms. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, their hockey tables were in that second room also. And Gino mentioned that the second room is actually run by the convention center. So it closed at 1 a.m. while the main room closed at 2. So
yeah,
at 1
it's
a.m.
like they have
did
like
to shoot
union
people
people
out.
handling that stuff,
Oh, weird.
So yeah, it was about an hour or so earlier they shut it down. Maybe.
Did
2
they
hours
still
earlier.
have the upstairs area for the tournament pinball stuff?
I don't think so.
Yes.
I don't think.
Well,
they
yeah,
did?
no, they did have. Yeah, because they did have the tournament
I completely
pinball, and I
missed
think
it.
Yeah, I missed
or
it too
unless
last year.
unless it was. I don't know if it was upstairs. I'm assuming
You know
that
the
it was. but
escalators that are near the bar?
Yeah, I do recall that last year.
Yeah, that's where the pinballs were. I didn't even know that. I found that out later. I'm like, oh.
Yeah.
I felt like
Yeah.
when the main room was like at its most busiest at really any time, the second room was always like tolerable at all times.
Yeah, for sure.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Well, good. It's good that they listened to a lot of the concerns and things. That
And
people are
the other
upset
thing I
about.
want to add to that too about their staff and listening to people and stuff. The last 2 or 3 years I haven't been able to sit in on when they do.
Oh, no. No.
Oh,
Don't
Hey, we
worry,
got lanyards
God,
right
don't
away
stow
this
the
time.
bottom.
I'm actually starting to load my games when that starts, and I send my son in there with the raffle tickets. So I never really hear what they say, but my son said, no, this is the first time they mentioned that too. They actually took time to have a conversation with everybody, saying like how much they appreciate all the volunteers, and Ken and TJ are the two that started it, and they said down to just anybody walking along, you see someone having troubles getting a game coined up, just comment to them, show them how to do it. The appreciation for all that, and everybody bringing
cool.
games, they said that there was over 600 games. I think the 610 games that were there this year. And I think that's pretty close to what they were last year. I'm not sure of the exact numbers, but it's a lot of games. And,
Yeah.
and they
People at
said,
registration were a lot nicer.
No, I was going to ask that. That was my next question.
And I got a lanyard right out of the chute. Yeah.
Yes. What
And
about the rules about like when people are setting up the day before on what was it, Thursday or whatever, how they're being real like tight-assed about like, if you're not here helping, you need to leave, and
no, there was, I think later on.
No.
They weren't so like.
what time did the bar shut down? Because it was like at like 9 p.m.
Friday
last
getting
time.
around.
Like, I mean,
No,
lame.
really, nobody ever wants to mess with the bar at that hotel because it's $10 beers, and you might as well be YOB.
Bad service.
Yeah,
Like,
so
true anywhere though.
they did say that. So I guess the two guys that started it, just for reference, out of the 600 games, about 120 of them are theirs. So it is a
wow.
Wow.
I did hear that they have a storage facility that they put a lot of games and pinballs in for the event, just to, like to get things started and going and everything else is what people bring. So, but yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, so I mean, really, my only two things I'd say, but they can't control one of them is the loading dock. I actually got in Thursday night, so it wasn't bad at all for me. But I know on Friday afternoon it can get crazy where people are, you got 3 or 4 trucks deep waiting to unload games, and you might be sitting there for 2 or 3 hours waiting.
Wow.
And they can't really control that because of the venue, because the other loading docks are with the convention center, and those are union stuff.
Yep.
So you can't use those at all. Although I think, did you use it last year?
Maybe.
Yeah, we didn't realize we weren't supposed to.
Yeah,
So ignorance is bliss.
They really can't fix that, so that is what it is. My only other thing, I was a little sad about, but there wasn't as many prototypes there this year. But, I talked to Scott a little bit, Atari Scott, and he was kind of like, a little extra cheery. He's like, yeah, I didn't have to stress over, bringing all my prototypes and trying to make sure they're all working this year. I had all the other stuff going on. So I think he only actually brought 1 or 2 games, where he normally brings, 10, 15, 20 games or whatever. Yeah. But so I'm sure they'll be back next year, but so yeah, I did see a lot of different new games too. Like we played the Cosmotrons later Saturday night.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was pretty fun. I think a lot of people would really enjoy that. It's a very vector feeling game, and you really feel the gravity pulling while you're trying to play the game. So lots of fun on it. Yeah, so it's kind of like picture Gravatar, kind of a crossing. I guess Gravatar and Asteroids, sort of. I don't know, but you can play as teams, or you can play as one person is the boss, and the other 3 people attack them. Or it's like a race where you have to get through the caves, but you're fighting gravity the whole time. As soon as you let off the thrust, you just start plummeting down to the surface or whatever. So, but yeah, it's a really fun game, but challenging, man. That was a hard game. So, but yeah, I could see that taking off more. Yeah.
So. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and the people who designed it or invented it, they gave a talk. They were one of the folks who gave a talk. Yeah. So that was good. Yeah, some good speakers.
That was my next question. Yeah, how were the speakers?
Yeah, I did.
The skee ball one was good. It was like a history lesson on skee ball, but it was presented really, really well. Like they went into everything about. I didn't know the
origin of it and everything.
Yeah, and how it changed hands and stuff. It was crazy. I didn't think it went back that far, like the 1890s.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it was. They did a really good job. It was funny. I went yesterday. My daughter and I went to lunch, and I was telling her about some of the presentations and some of the events. And I started out by saying that we'd gone to a presentation on air hockey, and she's like, And then I was telling her but the skee ball presentation was so good, and you could tell that she was like, keep a nice face, be polite. And she's like, I'm like, no, seriously. And so I'm trying to explain to her just how well that it was a male-female presentation.
Yeah, she's sitting there and she's just like,
no, and I don't care.
Yeah, pretty much. She was trying really hard to be polite, and she did a good job, but I could just tell that she was like, of course you went to a talk on skee ball.
We were going to go to 3. We went to the air hockey one first, and that was actually kind of a letdown. Because the guy who's an expert on air hockey didn't even have a table there to demonstrate anything. So he's going through these flash animations on his computer on a website. It wasn't prepared very well. But the skee ball was really good. And then we were going to go to the Atari one, and then realized that we were at got the times wrong, and it was the Steve Ritchie talking about Star Wars. So we left immediately. Like, I don't give a shit about that.
I would have sat on that one.
Yeah.
I think Jim and I actually, we were like, oh yeah, you know who'd be excited to be here would be Mock, and he could heckle him. Like the pin guys
Come on,
could
you
be
guys,
heckled.
stay.
And-
No.
Yeah, exactly, and asking pointed questions.
There were
but
a
no,
lot.
we
There
didn't.
were, I think they said 11 Star Wars pins there for people to play.
Yeah.
Oh wow!
New
So did you
inbox,
guys
there.
play it?
Nope.
Yes, I did.
You didn't.
I played it. I think. Well, you.
I mostly didn't play because
just a pro, right?
it's one of the things, there's always people on there, and I didn't really want to wait. You know.
So how'd you like it, Carrie?
You know, it was fun, but it wasn't anything nothing outstanding. I did pretty well on it, so that of course always makes you go, "Oh, hey, this is a good pin." Like I kicked the ass of the the Australian guy who I was playing against. So he walked. Yeah, exactly. He walked away with with a shriveled penis as his testosterone level was very low as he got fucking beat by a girl. But you know, but there was it, but it wasn't. Yeah, it certainly didn't. Yeah. It didn't. There was nothing. There was nothing special about it. Nothing that stood out that made me say, "Oh, hey, this is a pin that's intriguing." I have to say the fighter that's there, not the it kind of shakes. Yeah, the firefighter. That's like shakes back and forth. It just looks kind of cheap. It looks a little cheesy.
It's on a spring when you hit it, and it goes going, going, going.
Yeah.
Mock, I'll say I did play Whitewater and for the first time. That's a fun pin.
Oh, cool. Awesome. Did it have 3 balls?
Me and Carrie made them. Yeah.
You never got to multi-ball?
Oh. We never got multi-ball.
I don't remember. No,
we were both because and then somebody else was waiting, so we didn't go back and replay.
Were you able to make the big shot, the big waterfall shot on it? The ramp that's on the far left that goes woo, woo, woo.
Oh, that goes like this. Yeah, you did that.
Yes.
Carrie, yeah.
And then the ball, if you do it right, the ball hits the glass every time too. I don't know if you know that. It's made to do that.
Oh.
So when it goes down the ramp, they designed it on purpose to hit the glass, and you hear a crack, and then it goes down to your left flipper. Yeah.
Oh, that's really interesting. Huh.
Yeah.
Never knew that.
I played. We tried to play. I'm trying to make an effort. We both did to play a few pins, so that I could get some experience with ones that comparison.
Yeah, stuff you haven't played.
Yeah, and I came across 2 that I enjoyed. Surprisingly, Big Buck Hunter I thought was fun.
I've heard that's fun. Yeah,
I've talked about that one before. Yeah,
I've heard that's a fun game. I hate the arcade game.
See, and I love it. I was telling Carrie, I'm like, it'd be fun to have the pin and the vid next to each other. The sounds on the pin come straight out of the arcade game.
So in the pinball, it doesn't like a deer go across the playfield.
Yeah,
you got to smack the ball. Yeah.
Goes.
I've seen one modded also where they take the Attack from Mars, the alien dudes, and they
did that on this one, and this guy zip tied it. It was you could see the zip tie. It looked terrible. Like why would you do this?
Is an alien instead of a deer? Is that what?
No, it's an alien on top of the deer.
Oh, like he's riding it like a horse.
Yes.
It looked really dumb, really stupid. And then you could see this bright yellow zip tie holding it down. I'm like, oh yeah, fucking moron. Yeah.
The glue keeps popping off.
But that was fun. And then I really enjoyed Lord of the Rings.
Pinball.
Yeah. Yes.
We're talking about Cax, Andrew. You were gone for a while.
Yeah, sorry. My dogs are having some issues, so I had to go deal with them.
So you still have 2. That sounds like a foster failure to me.
I know. Well, I might have 2. If I still have 2 by the time you guys get here, I probably still have 2 forever.
Yeah.
I didn't want to, goddammit. Anyway, Cax, sorry.
So they're talking about how much better it was, how much more spread out it is. They have two new rooms instead of just one room, so that spread things out.
So, where was the new rooms?
On the right side of the
registration. It's one new room. So yeah, exactly. So if you walk up the hall, like you're coming from the bar and you walk in, and the main hall is there on your left, and you have registration. We got the room right behind registration, and it was it was big ass room.
Pass registration to the right or to the,
to the left? Right.
Yeah. If you pass registration, you go to the right.
Yeah. All right. Sweet.
And that helped. Yeah, that helped tremendously with on a number of levels. That was really nice. No,
So were all your games kind of close together, Carrie, this year, or were you spread out?
Nope. I was pretty spread out. Although I had Gyrus and Karate Champ were next to each other. I had, and then Reactor was kind of far away. Actually, I felt very honored because my Reactor was amongst John's. While he has all this, John has so many cool, expensive games like his iRobot and his Mad Planets, and there was my Reactor. So I'm like, oh, look at that! I made it big time. I'm nestled between
his food fight looked brand new, man. It's beautiful.
It's gorgeous.
It's all original too, right? I believe.
I think so. Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah, absolutely beautiful. So I had, So I had, I think was it just Jim? Was it just those three in the main hall, and then everybody else was in the second room? Yeah, because I had so the other room they had. Yeah, so in the other room they had the cabaret row. They had the cabarets, or at least most of the cabarets. They had the cocktails. So my Tempest cocktail was there.
Okay.
Defender was one of 3 defenders, although the other defenders experienced issues. Although one defender did come back up. My defender was played nonstop. I never walked by and it was empty. Somebody was always playing defender.
For Avatar, and then so 7 were in that room, and then which is probably better because it was more open and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
People were always playing. A lot of people were playing your robot monsters.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. I wish I had a mute button.
I added those 2 pins though to my would buy list, even though I know Lord of the Rings.
You said Big Buck Hunter, and what was the other one?
Yep, Lord of the Rings.
Lord of the Rings. Okay.
I thought that was actually a lot of fun. I love the Balrog that turns, and then you're supposed to hit him, and if I can't remember what mode or whatever, but he turns, everything goes dark, and he's red, glowing red. I thought that was awesome. Like that looked cool.
Yeah,
it's like you're saying though. Like I wish somehow you could like plug headphones into it or something, because I want to hear. You can't hear the sounds and everything, like what's going on. And I could make out a few sound bites that came straight from the movie, but that was it. But otherwise, yeah, I liked. Didn't you shot it into the eye or whatever in the back?
Mm-hmm.
Like the
isn't it kind of like a magnet that holds it too? Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Take it back to the ring.
What's that, Boobs?
It's the ring that's in the back.
Ticker.
Yeah, sorry, what was that again?
Is it? Yeah.
Yes.
I know.
Purring.
He's redialing. Hang on.
Yeah.
Sounds like
don't you have that sound bite with the modem?
AOL. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Carrie, I got lucky with about half of my game.
About half your connection works too.
And 12 of those were all in one big loop.
Yes.
So that was nice.
That was a nice byproduct of you throwing that tournament. That's less luck, and that's more of your skill. That was clever of you.
Yeah.
So next year, throw a tournament.
Yes, exactly. That's all you have to do.
There you go,
You can
Carrie.
save
Throw a
yourself all those
tournament.
steps. Yeah. That's okay. I'll do my rotate. I do my rounds. I don't mind.
Yeah.
I have a question for people that brought games. Did you guys sell any game, or?
Yeah.
Oh,
I did, as a matter of fact.
All right, moving on.
I figured, yeah.
It just says yes.
Now the question is how many, Jack?
Oh, so I sold 4 games.
Oh, wow.
And I picked up 1. So effectively, I kind of traded 1 game and then sold 3 others. So I came home minus 3 games and 2,500 cash in my pocket.
Someone's buying the first round at not a tournament.
There you go. Right. Done.
I want a lap dance.
I mean, unfortunately, these are not $1 viewers.
All right, me and Carrie got to hear the infamous Gak story that we missed last.
Yes.
That's the story.
Yeah.
That old guy, I finally got to tell it.
Everything I hoped it would be and more.
I had to start off with, I hope this lives up to the hype that you guys are thinking it's going to be, you know.
Wow.
And then poor
Carrie
blind
ahead of
dog.
time. I'm like, it's got to have some bathroom humor. I hope it does. And,
It's all bathroom humor.
Yeah.
Did Carrie handle it well?
I couldn't look her in the eyes while I was telling the story though.
Gak's a great storyteller.
Oh my god!
Yeah.
That was a
You gotta
highlight of CAX last year, I think. That was
Yeah.
That was a great story. Yeah.
almost
I
peed my
think
Poor,
it's the only
poor
time
blind
I
dog.
played last year.
So Andrew, you know Blind Dog
Tears
out
of
of
joy.
I think he's up there near Seattle or somewhere.
Black and
Portland.
white blind dog, yeah.
Yeah, so he was just kind of happened to be sitting there hanging out with us. So he just got
Wait,
blindsided by the
he
story.
didn't hear it the first time?
He
I thought
didn't.
was around.
I don't think he was around for that, was he?
No, I don't think so. Yeah,
Funny.
yeah,
Oh
Blind
my
guy
God.
got blindsided.
yeah. There you go. Yeah, so I'll touch the subject of the tournament for a little bit. So I mean, to back up a little bit, my first intention of doing it was just to draw attention to those oddball games I've been collecting. You know, so there wasn't really like, I didn't want to hype it up and, you know, push it for a long, you know, really I just thought about it like a little over a month ago. I'm like getting
But
the
it
games.
forces them to play those games, though, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
Well, you know, but the thing is though, is without trying to promote something in advance, you're not really going to have that much interest, I think. You know, it's hard to say. I think it was a combination of that and the way the scoring tablets were, because I wasn't like standing there trying to push it on everybody the whole time. You know, I was like, I had a big screen TV. I had a big screen TV above and a couple of monitors. And,
Does anyone have any screenshots we could show for?
If I send it through Slack, if someone can share it, I don't know.
That'd be great if
That'd be the only way.
shots and put up.
But yeah, so I basically had the rules and how to start up on the big screen TV above the games. So I was just hoping it to be kind of like self-propelled, you know, just whatever. I don't have to stand there trying to push it on people or be a referee. Right, yeah. You know, I wanted to be able to walk around, enjoy playing games, talking to people, and actually part of it was fixing other games that were broken. But anyway, so
service tournament.
Yeah.
yeah.
So you know, I think maybe some people were still a little bit intimidated by it, you know, so and the way to sign up was you know, you have to go on the website, register and all that process. So I think most people are just kind of like, you know, I'm just here playing. Yeah, kind of. But you know, I'll say this though, it definitely drew a lot of attention to all those games, which was like my first goal, you know. Whether or not they were doing the tournament, every time I walked by, every time I walked by, I heard somebody saying something like, "Wow, what are these? These are Nintendo games? I've never seen these before. Well, those are weird. Those are cool, you know, kind of thing." So, you know, it definitely drew attention to, and people were playing them, pretty much all of them, every single time I walked by. So,
were people watching?
I'll call that a mission accomplished, you know.
Yeah. Were people watching the monitors above the big one?
Yeah. Okay. So the other little unfortunate thing, the way I had set it up, the original intention was the main screen in the middle was going to be the website. You know, Griffin's Arcade Icons, showing the live scores as they're updating, and then the two side screens. I got little media players I could just put in USB flashcards with just, you know, our logos and stuff, to try to promote everything we do, right? You know, the Arcade Hangout, Nat, Grinkfest, you know, all that stuff. So I just had the images kind of, you know, scrolling through on those. And it was all working perfect Friday night. And then Saturday morning, went down there to check it out, and the media players got fried. I don't know, it just would not display the images right. So I wound up just putting instead of doing the live feed scores on the main screen, it was just the scrolling logos and stuff. And because it had the tournament rules too, as one of those screens. So I just had that up on the main screen. The side screens were actually out the whole weekend. So because I didn't have all the right wiring to do, you know, other options.
The big screen that you had that went out, does that have to be a certain size to fit your thing, or can you kind of retro make it?
Well, they were all set to 1080p. So
no, what I meant, like the size of the television itself. Like, can you go get another?
Yeah,
one
it was. I just made it. I made 100mm mounts, so it could be a LCD monitor. Actually,
bigger, smaller, kind of thing.
200. It wound up being a 200mm mount on my TV, the 42-inch. But I was able to modify and drill and make it work and fit on there. Because I hadn't test fit anything until like the morning of leaving for CAX.
Oh, jeez.
It's just too much stuff going on trying to. I was 3D printing enclosures for the tablets and all that the night before. So.
That Ultramark.
But it definitely, I mean, everybody was like, wow, this is really cool, these tablets. And I had several people come up to me saying, like, I really want to see this kind of stuff at other. What are you laughing about?
Nothing.
What I
Holy
missed?
shit.
What's going on here?
You got wood, I got wood.
All right. So
you just need to replace the TV, right?
Yeah, it wasn't a TV problem. It was the media players.
Oh,
because my actually the monitors I'm looking at right now are the two that I use on the sides, and I don't have a USB input on those monitors, so it was just HDMI. So I got a media player that I could put a USB flash drive into, and then HDMI to the monitors. Well, that media player, the $30 media player or whatever I bought, it just, I don't know what happened, if there was a power surge or what. They just were not working.
Sucks.
We spent like an hour trying to troubleshoot and fix them, but there was just no luck. So
okay.
I didn't have a splitter. If I had a 3-in-1 splitter, I would have had the same image on all 3 screens. So, but whatever, it's all good. And then so I had 3 touch screens. There were the 8-inch tablets, and that's how you would enter your scores. And you want to know how many people actually did it?
Yeah, that was my next question.
Yeah.
Well, everybody that entered got top 3. So
okay.
There were more people that said they wanted to and said they were going to, but whatever. It's that venue there is like last year, Andrew.
We had a tough time.
Prototype. We in comparison to Fun Spot and Grinkers, it was just small potatoes. Because it's the spectacle is CAX itself, seeing all the different games and just in general everything there, and a lot of tourist type stuff, I guess we'll say. Whereas Fun Spot and Grinkers, they're there, to be part of the tournament and all that.
Right.
So
you could have gone to CAX last year and not know that there was like a prototype. You would have thought that was just a section, not a tournament.
Yeah,
so yeah, exactly right.
So yeah, I mean, it was a good learning experience. I think, I kind of knew going into it that the way the scoring was going to be, how I wanted it to be kind of kiosk style, where people just do it on their own. I knew there was going to be troubles there because no one really wants to go through the steps of signing up.
Yeah.
If it was a little easier on the same pad where they could just put their name and the game and the score and just be done with it. But that one extra step, I think, it's fine. It is what it is. If I wanted to be standing there, trying to tell people and do everything, there would have been a lot more people, I think. But I didn't want to do that, And honestly, I didn't know ahead of time if I was even going to be able to pull it off. So I didn't even want to try to promote it, But I was kind of surprised, and I will show this too. At California Extreme, they hand out these booklets. So there's kind of a really cool glossy booklet.
Yeah.
And so I'll show the last page. Andrew and I were on a group text with Steve at Grinkers, and he's like, "Hey, did you see the ad in the thing?" So if you can kind of see it here. So he did a half-page ad in here, and it was really cool because he
read off the bottom, but
that's nice.
Yeah, I don't have my glasses on.
It's funny, it doesn't show any arcade games. It shows a girl.
Yeah, he's like how glorious, enjoying everything, whatever. But he goes through it on the bottom to thank all the people that have helped make Grinkers what it is, by
it's like a douche commercial.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wait a second. Is that Carrie in that picture?
I think so. It could be. Yeah.
It's a male enhancement ad.
So he went through and he kind of thanked all the people that helped him start Grinkers and all the repair guys,
like Hat Trick and stuff.
Yeah, Hat Trick and Game Fixer, all those guys. Arc Revival.
Yeah, David's in there.
And then he actually mentioned Andrew and myself, so that was really cool. I was honored to be mentioned.
Super special. Like I saw,
That's awesome.
I posted that picture. I seriously got choked up. It's like,
yeah,
Yep,
that's
right.
awesome. You know what's funny about that too is he does that ad.
For us.
He does that ad where it's like looks like, you know, like I said, like a douche commercial or whatever. But remember that ad he did where he's like, it's an advertisement for Grinkers, but it was just for the bathrooms.
Yeah, right.
He was like where are the arcade games?
It's on his YouTube channel, which maybe someone could post. Anyone know it?
I don't know his channel.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Otherwise, I would post it.
Yeah, it's on his YouTube
got one
channel.
smelly bathroom for.
So if you go to
look
YouTube and search for Grinkers Grand Palace, and you'll find the ads. But yeah, that's what we're talking about. It's like we always make fun of the bathrooms, but
That's
he had,
actually
like, an
not the
ad
name
that
of the
was
arcade. That's the name of the
advertising
bathroom, the Grand Palace.
yeah,
Yeah.
he has a.
And then
gold
the other thing
throne.
that's in this booklet too was, and I was really taken back by this too, was that one of the staff guys, Tombo, actually, he's on KLV too. He actually created this whole thing here, where it's like kind of a flyer for the tournament. You know, I was like, holy shit, man, that's really cool. I could not believe that he actually put that in this booklet. You know.
Yeah, that's super awesome.
That's cool.
Huh.
I love that story.
Did I lock up? Like, wow, that's awesome. Did I lock up there?
So, Gak, what games did you sell? I know that you sold your Smash TV or whatever, right?
Yeah, that we'll call Smash TV basically a trade for my my new toy. And Andrew, I don't know if you saw it.
Right?
No, I saw it in Slack, but I want to hear more about it.
Yeah, right there behind your shoulder there. You got one.
Oh, that thing right there?
Yeah.
Yeah, just everybody has one. God damn it.
These things are a dime a fucking dozen.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, everybody's got one. Don't you have one, Steve?
You know, Andrew, we just, you know, it just kind of falls in our lap. You know?
Okay. So I got to ask a question based on that. Like right now, for you guys that have played Major Havoc, would you prefer spinner or roller for everybody?
Myself, a roller.
Yeah.
I like spinner is easier, but I prefer the roller because that's how I originally remember playing it on a dedicated tournament.
Exactly, Gak. You're right. Same
So
here.
I never played the original, so I prefer the spinner just because it's so much more precise.
Yeah.
And the roller, I love it. I've got a repo roller from Takeman, so I'm excited to, if anyone wants to get one of these fucking things built, please go to Clav and order a goddamn control panel. Because that's all I'm waiting for. I've got the spinner, I've got a control panel overlay, I'm ready to throw this in.
And what's funny about the machine I got, I heard some backstory a little bit from other people. The guy I got it from bought it, I don't know, I'm just going to guess, a year ago, maybe 2 years ago, maybe longer. He bought it off Kalen.
No way.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then it didn't originally have the control panel with the roller on it.
Yeah.
He said he actually bought the control panel, I think about a year ago, that it had already been modified for the roller and had a new overlay on it. And my buddy Tubular Gearhead, Chris, he sold his machine that had one, and that guy sold the control panel. And so we're pretty sure, we're 99% sure that's his old control panel.
Control panel. Wow.
Yeah.
So I gotta ask the evil question. Is that a Rams controller?
No, it's he said it was an OEM controller with a plastic housing.
Yeah.
Oh.
And isn't the Rams one aluminum?
A Ram? Yeah, I mean it's metal.
Yeah, it's metal.
I've never held a Rams, so I don't know.
But Chris was at my house earlier today, actually. And we looked at it, and he's like, "No, that looks original to me. That is not a reproduction. It's a because the original ones were like injection molded plastic.
Yeah.
The black part that goes on either side of the roller, that's all plastic. That's how they originally were.
I could pull my Takeman off if you want to.
Does the green roller, does that light up or not, or is that a mod that John did on his? Is that a real thing?
I don't know about the dedicateds, if those had light up control panels.
Yeah, I was wondering if they were really lit up or not. Does yours light up?
I actually haven't plugged it in since I got home.
Oh my god!
It needs a cap kit,
sir.
Oh, well then it's gonna sit there for a long time.
No, I got home. So Monday, I spent all day driving back, unloading games. Then I had to drive over to Tron Guy's house, unload games there, then return the truck. I got home by like 6 o'clock or so, and I was just exhausted, man. I'm like,
you got done
I'm
with
done.
shit like an hour ago, right? Like you finished and then jumped on the show.
Yeah.
All right.
At CAX, GAC, your area was like the best setup area. I feel like you could have had like a couple turntables up there. You could put your headphones on, pulling off the earphone every now and then.
All right, let's talk for next year.
MC GAC.
I'm down for that.
You can help me out.
I mean, you had like all your machines just perfectly curved around you. Everything else was like a snake pattern, but yours was beautiful. I'm sad that you were as I don't know. I feel like I didn't see you around there as much. You were kind of
we were both running around all over the place, I think, So that's always my regret every year, is that I don't have enough time to hang out with as many people as I want to, and I certainly don't get enough time to play the games I want to play. I feel like I play less games every year. Just so busy doing it.
Saturday, we're like, fucking me and Kerry are like, what the hell? GAC has been like in serious mode all week, and we need to pull him away and get some beer.
Yes, thank you for that, by the way.
So you left later, though, right? You didn't leave on...
No, so I arrived Thursday
Saturday.
night. I got there at like 9 p.m. Thursday night, unloaded all the games, and then kind of crashed soon after. And then all day Friday, prepping, dialing stuff in. And I didn't go home till Monday morning, so I was actually there 4 nights.
So you did the full show.
That's the most I've ever been there. I think I haven't ever stayed there more than 2 nights.
Yeah, that's cool.
So yeah,
you did the full event.
Yeah, so it was a good time.
Awesome.
Cosmotron was a lot of fun playing that with Jimbo and Carrie, and Mule was there with us too.
That was fun. I was way too aggressive in that though. Like I'd die instantly. I couldn't. That's not the. It was a fun game, but good God, you need patience.
You gotta build up. Yeah,
soft
and figure it
hands.
out.
When I was on that, like, I mean, I didn't even get to try it because there was such a line for it every time, and there was always like the developers like hanging out behind it, like watching you at all times. And I tried to get on it, but it was such a long line to it. It's basically, would you guys describe it as kind of like a Gravatar type kind of game? Like it's like a Gravatar versus type game, right?
Yes. Yep. Exactly.
Oh yes, I got to play that game here when it was in Denver.
Yeah, that's right. What do you think of it?
I'm horrible at it.
So I was trying to figure it out. So the guys that did play it, can you guys like kind of give like a layman's term?
Well, to me, the level of gravity, I think they're designing it to. You don't want to have a game last too long because then they're not generating enough money off of it in the commercial environment, Right.
Yeah.
So to me, the gravity level was like super intense.
Pretty intense.
If it was like 30% less gravity than that, I think it'd be a lot funner, but you'd last too long and maybe get bored with it. I don't know. It's hard to say.
Well, but the thing is, though, it's like the whole thing is like if you're playing multiplayer, then it's not really all about like fighting the gravity. The gravity should be almost secondary.
Yeah.
Versus like ultimately like you're playing against the different ships the other players are playing. And it's a multiplayer thing. So the gravity becomes a big deal because it's super heavy.
Yes.
It looks like a versus game like Space Wars, but with Gravatar mixed in. That's what it looks like.
And basically, yeah, it's like the levels start off with like Gravatar, where there's like a world in the middle and everything's pulling you in. But what are like the little squares? That was your fuel, and you would have to fly around to grab your fuel, and that would just give you more power, right?
Yeah.
But like most games don't last for you to pick up more than like one fuel tank.
Yeah. I don't even go for the fucking fuel tanks.
No, you're really going for killing the other players.
Yeah.
So the only time you go for the fuel is if like it was a really long round.
Yeah.
And was the point of it to stay basically flying longer than your opponent?
Well, no, because you can shoot them.
No, you fight each other, don't you? Isn't that what it's about? Fighting each other?
Right.
It's all about killing the other guy. So whoever's the last. So you start with like
but you're fighting to survive just on your own, and then you're
and fighting
player.
Right.
Yeah.
It's fighting off gravity along with fending off the shooting.
If you're playing a first-person shooter, it'd be like you've got other people, and then you're fighting another element at the same time outside of your other players. It's not. I'm with Andrew. Like, that should Yeah, yeah, exactly.
That's
Like
why
that
someone's
should be such a minor second thing.
Yeah.
If you're playing the regular game, okay, turn the gravity up, whatever. But if you're playing a multiplayer, that should
main
be
focus
very
should be-
minor.
Yeah, the main
Did
focus.
you
yeah,
guys
should
ever
be
play
the
Space Wars? Or is
environment.
that too old?
Yeah.
That was a vector game that was where it was two ships pitted against each other. One looks like the Enterprise ship, but one looks like the asteroid ship, and
Right.
you can control whether you have gravity or not. And there's a sun in the middle that, or you can make it a black hole. But this
So-
is like exactly the same thing, but they put geometry that you have to like dodge.
So I never
It's the
got.
exact same
I never got Space War. You guys are connected, right? In Space War, you're
No.
connected by a little line.
No. That's Space Duel.
Space Duel.
Space Duel.
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
okay.
No, this
That's like
Space War
cooperative
is a vector
battles.
game. But there's no asteroids. It was just fighting each other.
Right.
That's all it was. But Cosmotron, right,
Yeah.
is the same exact thing, but it has things to dodge. Like there's rocks all over the place.
Well,
and
it's
shit, so you gotta
I don't
avoid
think
all that.
everything moves in the environment, but it's just the ground. So you just have to be like constantly aware of like your thrust velocity,
I put a
and-
post.
and the buttons are reversed.
If you guys want to see what it looks like.
You guys, all right. So did anyone notice that like the buttons are not what you would expect?
Like
them to
fire
be?
and thrust are backwards.
Yeah.
That'll fuck you.
No, yeah, it is. So like we, so like
Who's got the button?
Button. Who's got the button?
so that aside, so yeah, so but yeah, so the ground
watching
and like the
Gak drinking,
environment is
orange
way
beer.
too much of a big fight.
It's not Cosmotron.
But amazing cabinet. So the cabinetry work
Yeah.
that the guy did on these things, they're all white and gorgeous.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my fucking god, they're
And the one that they had at CAX was they obviously had two different ones. They had the big one.
Yeah.
They had the gigantic screen.
with the
so
giant monitor. Yeah.
So two or
That was
four or
awesome.
three people could
Yeah.
just be in this giant screen, and
Yeah.
then there was one right next to it,
It's-
which was kind of a weird LCD kind of popped up on a.
I was
Yeah.
gonna say it's not a real vector game, right? I mean, it's
Well,
like
no,
on
it's
an
all- it's all
LCD
computer.
screen.
Yeah. It's all computers.
But it's a well done. I mean, when I walked up, I was like, if anyone's going to recreate vector, like this is the way to do it.
That's
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
No, it was super fun. I mean, and the guy I got to meet him when he was here at Hyperspace.
Mhm.
So Sam and Mike Lethargy 01 from Clav, who came to CAX not CAX to Grinkers last year. The Street Fighter Mike. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So Street Fighter Mike and Sam and I went over to Hyperspace for their showing here, and it was a shitload of fun. So I met the dude. He's a great guy. Obviously, he and his wife had poured just a crap load of their lives into
Yeah. I
the
bet.
Mhm.
happen. The cabinets are works of art.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they're going to be
Agreed.
selling these
Agreed.
to
So, yeah,
like
they're-
people
they're-
that want them, right?
They're selling them, yeah.
So
So
like
it's-
is
Kind of like
Hyperspace
a
gonna get one?
Killer Queen. I don't know.
I would say if I was fortunate enough to ever have an arcade, and I would I would say that I feel like that game would be in the arcade versus the Killer Queen.
Killer Queen I like too.
Yeah.
That was fun. We should like ask Zyla, like, are you going to save up and get one of these or what?
Yeah. Hit her on Facebook. I'm sure that'll go over great.
Killer Queen and
Get yelled
Cosmotron
at.
right next to each other.
There's too much
Hey, guys.
testosterone in this game.
Yeah. Too much thrusting.
What's that?
Leo's taking off. See you, dude.
Not everyone.
All right, Leo.
Thanks for having me.
Bye,
Leo.
See y'all too.
Bye.
Later.
Till next time. So long.
See you tomorrow, Indiana Jones.
What was I going to say?
The cabinet's like curved. It's not a square cabinet.
No, it's crazy the work that he's put into it. It's
Yeah.
and the finished work. It's all automotive and clear coated. It's
I mean, I'm trying to figure out. I'm trying to figure out how he built like that white stuff. It's not. It's like that texture. It's
Like, really? It's not like lacquered?
it's like whatever the white part of both of those stand-ups were. It was
Yeah.
like it's very well made.
It's all wood, and from my understanding is it's all automotive quality paint. So like that was shot like in a proper booth, like tons of clear coat, sanding like crazy, and those things actually. It's funny you guys saw him at CAX, but like I think he stopped at like 2 or 3, maybe 4 places, including Grinkers.
Yes.
On the
I talked to
way
the guy for a little bit about
from
it.
Denver like just to get to CAX. So
And
like,
then he said he's making multiple stops on his way back too, because they're over in Chicago area, I think, is where they're from.
something like that.
So Grinkers got to have a little sampling of it?
Grinkers had both these machines, to my understanding.
Let's
and-
go bug Steve. Go get one,
So?
Steve.
I mean, the fact that it's like a 4-player game,
Yeah, it'd be fun.
it's so.
We
it's
can
a
have
ton of
bets
fun.
on that. Imagine the dollar bets for that game.
Yeah.
Actually, it would be a
such a
good
blast.
dollar bet game.
It would be a
great
great
game.
dollar bet game.
Game would go faster than Warlords.
Yeah.
So,
Give it a run for its money.
Yeah.
Talking about
That'd be
multiplayer
awesome.
games, Jimbo, did you happen to catch any of the Cyberball tournament stuff?
I
love
didn't
Cyberball.
participate because I'm not familiar with that
Right.
game.
I mean, just
They
to
had a
watch
tournament?
it. They had
No,
a
I didn't.
Cyberball.
I should have played
Yeah,
that.
like
I'm okay. I'm okay at it.
They had like 3 or 4 of them. Yeah.
Yeah, but
That'd
you're
be
busy like
fun.
boycotting CAX, so
I
So
know.
yeah, the Cyberball had they're paired up monitors, right, on the Cyberball, and they had like
Yep.
3 or 4 of those machines set in like a circle.
Oh wow.
So it was head to head. They had the first night it was single player, I think, where it was just one person against one person, and then the second on Sunday I think they had 2 against 2. And I've never played it before. I just had seen it, and so the guy who was kind of running the thing, I was like, so how long does the game last? And I think he said it's like 20 minutes or so,
Yeah, a full game is about 20 minutes.
because there's 6.
You
There's
just
like
gotta keep
6
plugging
games.
quarters into it all the time. But yeah,
Yeah.
it's about 20 minutes from start to finish.
So he said there was, if you played it back in the day and you had all 4 players playing on one machine, each player has to put in a quarter. And if you play the full game, and you don't die. Well, I guess you don't really
It's
die.
every
do you?
quarter, I think you have to put in a quarter. You have to put a quarter in every quarter.
He said it's 6. He said you have to put in 6 quarters. Each player has to put in 6 quarters.
I think it's 50. Isn't it 50 cents to start? Then it's a quarter after that.
Maybe. But he
Okay.
said it was a huge moneymaker back in the day, because people would play all 4 players and they'd want to play through the entire game. So each one of the 4 players would put in like $3. So it was like $12 the thing made.
Wow.
Every 20 minutes or
So
something like that.
I just looked up the Cosmotrons game for anybody that's watching that might want to see it, just so we can figure that out.
there you go. Yeah, so the one on the right is the actually easier for me to play because it's taller. But the one on the left, I think it was the original one.
That's weird. Look at the one on the right. It's a little screen with like a big table.
I know, but it's easier actually to play. Can we promote Jacob's presenting here?
I don't have
I'm presenting, I think.
presentation. Yeah, I think you have controls.
All right, so that should be presenting, so you can see.
Yeah.
So even though the one on the right looks like it's got the smaller screen, it's actually really comfortable to play. The one on the left is actually almost like an awkward height to play, but the cabinet is gorgeous. I mean, that arc and all that stuff that he did for that's just amazing.
I agree with Andrew. Like the one with like the small LCD screen, it's not that small. I would say it's probably like at least a 30.
It's still like a
40 inch.
30, yeah.
But the big one that you see with the curved top, that one it's almost like a 55 inch. It is huge.
Yeah. But the height of it was awkward to play.
Yeah.
I want to play it. I want to play it. I want to bet with dollars. I want to do it. It looks like fun.
Yeah. Great. Thank you for the pictures. That's great.
Okay, so someone text Steve and say, get on it. So the time we get to Grinkers, it'll be there.
Well, he knows it. We should talk to him about it when we get there.
Yeah, at least put it in his brain that, hey, this. I know it's a newer game, but it's very retro.
I mean, if you're gonna have Killer Queen, that's kind of like the next best like ode to people making cool retro style games.
Yeah, it's not old though, so Steve might put the kibosh on it, but it would be cool to play.
Yeah.
You know.
For his next expansion.
There you go.
When he takes over the Lego store or whatever.
This is the 90s section. This is the 80s section. This is the now section.
This is the brand new. I was talking to the owners. Like one of the things they were saying that I thought was really interesting was they were talking about maybe putting that on Steam.
Ooh.
So, but the problem for me with that is that like there is a single player version of it, but like the whole joy of the game is playing it with a group.
Yes.
I mean, we played it 3-player and 4-player a few times, but like playing it with like by yourself is kind of boring.
No,
And
I
I
wouldn't
have-
play that by yourself. That's like playing Warlords by yourself. It's boring.
Right.
You know?
So, I don't know. I mean, maybe that would work. There is actually a single-player game you can play that includes like challenges and fighting against the computer kind of thing. Did you guys actually play the boss mode, where one player got to play as the boss who can take?
Yes, we did. Jim played the,
that's
the
right.
boss.
Yeah, nice.
That was really fun, and we noticed what it did was it adjusted the lives.
Yeah.
So however many
I
lives.
compensated for my suckiness.
We had 3 players against the boss. Each of the 3 players had 2 lives, and then the boss had 6 lives.
Yeah, so you got to beat
it
the
kinda
shit
gave
out of
us-
the boss, and the boss can take multiple hits.
Okay.
So the boss can take like, I don't know, 4.
Just like real life, baby.
Yeah.
Fighting the boss, and the boss gets like the double shot. And and actually, to a point too, like you can pick different ships.
Right.
Like the novice ships have shields, but they thrust not very well, and they can only have like 3 shots.
That was what confused me, because the one ship I chose, it was like shooting out its butt.
That's my favorite ship.
That was a butt shooter.
Oh, so you can shoot from behind?
Yeah,
I noticed that watching it too.
As you're thrusting, you shoot backwards.
Oh, that's
Jack's flying around.
strategy.
So-
So you got strategy with the ships.
It's
That's
a strategy.
awesome.
So each there's like I don't know, 6 or 8 different ships.
Oh,
And actually,
cool.
with the boss, you can actually switch between firing out the front or firing out the back.
Ooh, it's a fronty or a backy.
Yeah, you can switch while playing. You can switch to the front or the back.
Oh,
Mock,
switch-
here's some more of my orange drink for you.
Yeah, Moonraker, some of that electric lettuce.
This
You're
one
in
is,
with the head.
This is Moonraker. It's Dojo. Oh man, it's good stuff.
Dun, 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 dun. Oh, it wasn't. No.
You guys need to bring some good beers here.
If I lived at Gak's house,
I
I'd
am.
be drunk every day.
We'll trade.
I'm bringing some of this. Andrew,
A
I
devil
don't-
hat would be just part of your head.
I would, I'd just fuse it.
It just
I
grows
wake
on
up in the
there.
morning, I gotta put the Devo hat on, get in the shower.
Mock is the sound he makes when he's swallowing. Mock, 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 mock.
Gak has all the good
shit.
So, did you guys play Killer Queen at all or not?
No.
Yeah.
I did not this year. Last year I played for a while.
I'm fortunate enough that in Portland here where I'm from, they have a Killer Queen set up at Ground Control, which is a pretty big arcade up here in Portland.
Yeah.
And they have like the 2-player setup back to back. And every time you go in there, it's like filled with everybody, 4-player on 4-player.
Yeah.
You know, it's
a huge moneymaker.
Yeah.
I bet.
Is it 5 and 5?
Is it 5 and 5?
I think it's 5 and 5.
Yeah, the big cats are 5 and 5.
So
Yeah.
I have an arcade. I have an arcade friend you guys know, that you guys met at PAX last year. So he has a friend that has a Killer Queen in his arcade, and that game rakes in the bank over the weekend.
Wow.
But during the week, it's dead. Nobody plays.
Yeah, actually, I heard they have to promote tournaments to try to really get people into it. And then that's when they really rake it in, is when they do tournaments.
It's kind of like that
Yeah.
4-player Pac-Man that was at CAX. It was like, you know, it was.
Oh yeah, the battle royale.
Battle Royale, yeah.
The battle royale is always like good for a bunch of people, but if you go into the arcade, you know, it's opening time on a Monday. I doubt battle royale is that.
Yeah.
You know, busy.
You got to have sort of the excitement in the crowd and the
Yeah.
weekend
Yeah.
people all wanting to play. But when we played Killer Queen at CAX, I mean, it was like a crowd of people playing.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah,
insane.
But that was like, we got it together, like that was the end of the night on Friday night or Saturday night.
Saturday night, yeah, it was like 1:30 in the morning.
It was
I was trying to figure out how to play the game.
Yeah, but we had like a huge group of all of us friends who were like
Yes.
playing that night. So that
Yeah.
We're just trying to figure it out.
made it different.
So the other game, Carrie and Jim, I don't know if you guys saw it or played it. Somebody posted on the CAX thread today, I think. I walked right by it multiple times. I even took a short video of it, and I didn't know what it was. I thought it was some weird new multicade because they put LCDs on it, but it's called Predator, I think, or Predators. It's a Williams game that was you know, I don't know if it was a prototype or it just never took off.
Huh.
But I think it's a 4-player game. Vertical monitors, I think and they have 4 separate monitors, and each player has like a character. One's called like Condor, and I don't know. They're different birds. I think I'm not sure. I didn't even really see the gameplay, to be honest.
I don't remember seeing it.
It was by the front entrance.
Okay.
Like when you first walk in the main entrance, it was like right around to the right side.
So this could be like a prototype Williams game.
Oh,
it was like a new, like let's say a remake or whatever, a reimagined of the original prototype. I believe the gameplay might be the same as the original, but they were LCD screens and it was a new cabinet, new controls and everything.
Because when you go into the right, it was mostly all kind of those pins on the right.
It was between the pins and the entrance on the right.
And it was like 4 propped up, and they had the LCDs.
Yes.
And it just kind of looked at like one of those, like when you're walking by, it's like the LCD games that are up
Yeah,
there.
I thought they was just some kind of multicade thing or something, you know? Let me see if I can find that. See if I can find some pictures of it. Yeah, but I don't know if any of you guys even ever heard of that game. I don't recall hearing. It's like it's made by Williams, and it's either called Predator or Predators.
I want to say that I've heard. I thought I've seen a Claw Thread at some point about Predators. Yeah, that sounds familiar, but I've never played it.
See if I can find it.
You drive around in an old van and try to pick up little kids.
Oh,
that's peddlers.
No, I think that's Predators. I think that's Predators.
No, I guess Predator would be you're stalking a teenage girl or something like that.
In the jungle. In Asia.
Yes. Right.
You've got long dreads.
And for some reason, Carl Weathers is in it.
You son of a... No, it's Commando.
Yeah. Dyson, you or whatever his name is. You son of a bitch.
You son of a bitch.
Oh, let's get that greased up arm shot. And got it. Oh, getting weak.
Jimbo, do you got any Arnold clips on there? Come on, just give me one Arnold clip.
Yes. This is
Remember, Sally, when I promised to kill you last?
That's what made
my favorite.
I lied.
That should be the death in some game. Wasn't it they used the what game is that they stole the death from Rambo, the First Blood. They use that in some video game. I can't. I think it's like one of the Akari Warriors or something like that. I can't remember what it was, but they use that sound of the person dying over and over. And
oh, weird.
Yeah, it's in some game. Fuck, I wish I could remember. But they use that. The guy like falls off a cliff or something. And he goes, ah!
It's not the same like Wilhelm scream, is it?
No, it's something else.
That would be obvious.
Yeah, it's too obvious for that.
Fuck. It'll come.
Wasn't there like a big like a campaign to retire Wilhelm?
I think they should. I mean, it's overused, and now when I hear it, it always takes me out of the movie when I'm watching it. I'm like, oh, what's the Wilhelm?
Yeah, because you pick it up.
Oh, yeah,
every Star Wars movie, Indiana Jones, George Lucas.
Yeah.
Oh, but it's so much
Steven
more than that.
Spielberg uses it.
Well, no, it's about
Spielberg
sound
uses it a lot.
designers. Everybody tries to cram it in their movie somewhere.
Foley
as a
artists,
joke.
or not Foley, but
Yep.
If you go on YouTube and just they have like a collection of just clips. It goes on for like a half hour.
Right.
Of just like and they do different like pitches on it, so it's the same sound, but it's a different pitch.
Yeah.
It's like way overdone.
As you're saying that, I'm literally on my phone looking at that compilation.
Yeah, there's a whole bunch of them on there.
Where did it originate from? Like, where's the first movie that used it?
I know. It was used in an Indian movie where a guy gets an arrow inside him, and he goes,
wow.
His name was Wilhelm or something.
But it's a higher pitch though. It's like
the only story I could find on it. It's on on their Facebook page. It's Andy's Arcade out of Oakland actually created it. I talked to that guy for a while on Saturday. But he's got
it's
pictures.
too bad I got rid of my Andy soundbite.
Andy.
Oh, it's gone. have we retired the Andy soundbite, much like Will?
Yeah, out of good merits, I removed it when I was,
Did you get a handy?
Well, we have to go offline for me. No,
Sorry.
just kidding.
Yeah. Sorry.
That was so. Yeah, I missed that. But we were at CAX, and of course, Gak busted it out a couple times. His version of it, which is quite possibly the best version of it. There.
It is. It's like a southern sort of Appalachian.
Yeah, it's kind of like anti-M type thing. Yeah.
Right. Isn't that Kansas? All right, whatever.
Oh, whatever. Yeah. So, it's like my Chinese riff that covers everything but the U.S.
Right. Chicago? Well, did someone say Chicago?
Yeah. Oh shit! I don't have that. Yeah. Works every time. Yep.
I've got some wonderful arcade news to add on to the random banter, if you guys don't mind.
Boys have a penis,
yeah.
girls have a vagina.
I am the proud owner of a finally fixed 1.5-year-old project, Asteroids Deluxe.
Ooh, nice.
Yay, congratulations.
I am so happy. It is my 8th completed machine, and it's so good. I love it. It's awesome. It took a long time. I had to have some help from Clav. I had to help some local people. You know who you are, blah, blah, blah. But XY monitors, I have a newfound respect and knowledge for working on them. But it's really nice to have one of those in the home arcade.
It's such a beautiful game too.
Yeah,
it is.
As featured last year for Grinkers on the artwork.
Do you guys? Do any of you guys personally have a recommendation or any knowledge of the triple kit by High Score Saves, et cetera, et cetera? Do you recommend it, or have you heard people or know friends that?
What is it?
It's got it's basically takes your Asteroids or Asteroids Deluxe and gives them Asteroids, Asteroids Deluxe, and Lunar Lander.
Yep.
Oh, I've heard about. Okay, yeah, I have heard about that.
So I know that Joe runs High Score Saves is a great guy.
Yep.
Till was thinking about doing that to his Asteroids Deluxe.
So what I've heard is, if I still had my Asteroids Deluxe, I would absolutely buy that kit because I like enhancing stuff like that.
Yeah.
If nothing else, to get the regular Asteroids too, to have in contrast. What I've heard though is that the original Asteroids uses 2 different sound sources. One is analog and one is digital. And then when they went, if I am understanding this correctly, and then when it goes to the Asteroids Deluxe, it only does digital. So when what they did on the kit is they essentially emulated the analog part. And so if for the person who's like super anal about sounds, it sounds a little bit different. Yeah.
Has to be sampled.
And of course, when you're playing Lunar Lander, you're not playing with the big.
What do you like? Push a button for it or something?
You can basically program the buttons to do it, but it's supposed to be this kind of same setup.
Analog.
So what I've heard is that if you want all the sounds as accurate as possible, the kit for the regular Asteroids will get you there. The Asteroids Deluxe uses emulation for those other sounds, but I like the Deluxe better myself. I like it's got a more of a boom, and the 3D effect with the floating background stuff.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Oh, by the way, I just realized that my Asteroids Deluxe, I don't know if any of you guys can kind of just answer this in general, but my Asteroids Deluxe doesn't have a test switch. It was removed at one time. So if I wanted to delete high scores, because the high score on it right now is 388,000.
Jeez, somebody modded that one in order for that to happen.
Yeah, I would say, is there a way without a test switch to really erase those if it was removed?
Well, the test switch is probably just wires off a harness, right?
Yeah. Should be the
tap into
shortcut.
that, figure out which pin out for the wires, and you might even be able to just touch the wires together without even having to get the switch.
Right, or touch them and
Just
hold
the
them
tip.
together. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, just the tip.
I would, you know,
all you need.
that's the next step because I don't think I'm ever going to get to that score.
Yeah, mine must have been set to the original because I think the original ROM set was like super crazy hard, and then they made some update because people were complaining, or maybe it might have been the other way around. I don't know, but mine I don't think I could ever even hit 30,000 on mine, and the highest score on mine was set by Dylan, drawn guy, who got like 34,000. That was the absolute highest score on it. It was
Your buddy Dylan,
ridiculously
aka
hard.
Tron Guy.
Oh, what?
Yeah.
Your buddy Dylan, aka Tron Guy.
Yep, exactly. Which you guys got to meet again.
Yeah.
Right.
Is there a Tron Guy story in there somewhere? Was it in the bathroom?
Yeah.
No, I just like teasing because
If you
whenever
go back,
Chris talks about him, each time he introduces Dylan, it's like my buddy Dylan, aka Tron Guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we always know both. We have. Yeah.
Boys have a penis, girls have a vagina.
That's my new crickets, I think.
So Andrew, I can't believe it. We're like only about 2 weeks away or so.
It's also the 18th, so yeah, we're looking at 17 days.
Did you get anything fixed between then and now?
All right, so what have I got fixed? So, so I've got my 720 went down.
Ah, that's all right.
So I have.
Exactly, we
Jim
just
won't play it
established that on this. We won't push it over.
So I see Street Fighter's running. I'm fine.
Street Fighter, actually, so yeah, so I got
roof access.
Super Turbo is fully running, and I'm like somewhere in between loving and hating that fucking game.
You must have been playing it recently
fucking
again.
hard. Oh yeah, I put it back in there because I want to get it running.
Yeah.
Well, no, just playing against.
Actually, Mortal Kombat's worse than that.
Mortal Kombat 2, yeah, with the board reading, yeah.
Andrew, I don't know much about your arcade, but is that a Ghostbusters? I see.
I do have a Ghostbusters, yeah.
Well, it looks good.
You still digging it?
Dude, I was playing it tonight.
Awesome. Did you see the big switcheroo that Griffin did with Keith?
Yeah. So Griffin,
I was pissed.
Well, you can come out here and play Ghostbusters. And fucking Keith is going to come out here and put a stupid score on my Ghostbusters, which I will never beat.
I don't know.
You know, I was at CAX and I put my name in that stupid drawing. I felt like an asshole driving home, like I didn't get to have my Star Wars pinball machine anyway. So I go ahead and I go up to a machine and I put my free credit in, and I end up it was Sunday at about 2:00, so it had already been being played for 24 or some odd hours, and I was able to get a number 2 score. It was the first time I ever was able to put my initials into a pinball of any kind in any game I've ever done ever in my entire life, and it was at CAX on the second day of it being played full 24 hours, and I got 699 million points, and I was really happy, and I actually
That's way better than my best score.
I still actually have no idea what I actually did. It's one of those things where you don't know what thing or trigger
in the zone.
you did.
Yeah.
It worked out, and we took a picture of it, and it was awesome. So it's one of those. You guys ever? I mean, you guys with pins, the newer pins. Do you ever have those times where you just do something you don't know what you did and you got a big score on it?
Oh yeah, that's how it usually goes. You play 5 games and all of them are shitty except for one of them.
Right. That's exactly it.
Me, anyway.
No, and I think Steve, you are probably a better pin guy than I am, and like that's like my best games are like I'll have one good game a month.
Yeah.
Where it's like I'll post up a grid score like once a month. Most of my games are like fucking nothing, like throwaway. Like why not even play?
Yeah, it's very much so where pinball's weird where you walk up to it and it's even something you've played a bunch of times and you start playing it and it looks like you've never played the game before in your life.
Yeah.
You just do shitty.
It's like one boom, train.
Yeah. Drain. It's
Boom,
over.
fucking drain. Fucking, and you're like, your third ball, you sort of clumsy, make it through, you make a couple shots, and it's like, you look at your score and you're like, are you fucking kidding?
By the way,
almost
Andrew,
like-
I played Next Gen at CAX, and that's got some stupid drains. Some really stupid
It's a
drains.
brutal. Dude, that game is fucking hard.
Star Trek?
Judge Dredd is
Yeah.
a far nicer, friendlier game. Like the part of the problem with Star Trek is like the ball save. By the time the ball gets down to your flipper, it's already done with the ball save.
Yeah, I noticed there was a few games like that where as soon as I shot it off, if it went right down the drain, there was no ball save, and it was like, what am I even?
Yeah, some games don't have it. That's something they started putting in later. But,
There's also those games that you see down at the bottom in between your flippers, ball save, and they still don't save your ball.
Because it took too long. Yeah. That's usually a setting too. You can set how long the ball save is,
which you can't do on Star Trek, by the way.
You know, Whitewater does not have a ball save, and that was somebody created a mod to put in to create one, like a home use code.
I mean, it's nice to have.
I put it in mine.
Yeah.
Just so it has it, because there's times where it's like a freak ball just goes right down the middle. You're like, oh, wait a minute,
I wasn't
ready.
It.
I want to do over.
Right.
I don't know. Okay, I don't know if you guys. I don't mean to cut into here, but while I remember, for the people that went to CAX, I don't know if you guys had already talked this because I was putting the boy to bed. But was there any game at CAX that were just kind of like? I'll say Carrie's Gyrus was my favorite. I don't know why. I had never played such a nice Gyrus, but that was my favorite walk up to CAX for sure. Out of all the games I played, it was just, you've got a really nice Gyrus, I gotta say. But what was it? What was everybody's favorite? What was
her Gyrus?
Favorite upright. And Gax, I don't know. If
I've never had my Gyrus complimented in public before.
It was wonderful. It was a wonderful experience.
I'll never forget it.
Yeah.
Because I mean, I was hearing from a lot of people that there was a few machines that they were expecting to be there and they were not there, et cetera, et cetera. So
we walked around Friday night, and I gotta say that me and Carrie walked around, and I'm like, I can't believe did people even play these games before they put them on the floor? Because so many games had problems.
Yeah.
Absolute shit monitors. But like, I wanted to show her bad dudes. I wanted to get through the first stage so I could show her the I'm bad at the end. And the first player,
which is like the totally guts. They totally stole it.
Yeah, totally.
Guts.
And I couldn't play the first player because it wouldn't go back. Joystick didn't work, and then so I switched to the second player, and the joystick worked, but the attack button was like super intermittent. I would hit like 4 times, and a move would come out once. And like it felt like it took an eternity to get through this. Like I just want to get done so I could show you that. And I'm like, oh my god,
bad.
Yeah.
Have you got bad dudes?
So Jacob, was your question what if there were any like walked away and like, oh my god, I want that game, or new discoveries? Is that what?
I guess the question is whether you played it in the past or not. What was like the machine that stood out to you that kind of like was something that was memorable in your eyes, whether you played it in the past or not? I mean, it could be like the quality of the machine.
Did you walk away from like CAX wanting a new game?
Yeah. Exactly.
You know,
just pin.
Exactly.
Yeah, yeah. If I take pins out of the equation, actually, I liked Lord of the Rings from before.
No. You can throw pins in there. You can throw pins in there too, because
but that's just so
anti.
It's just so much money. That's just so much money. I was surprised by War of the Worlds. I actually really enjoyed that game. And I
just said that. No.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't hear. It was cutting in and out. Yeah. Oh, that's funny. Yeah. No, that. I really like Panic Park. I wouldn't necessarily want one, but I would love to play it more because you need like.
By the way, I have Carrie. I have incriminating video of you and Jimbo playing "Come On, Baby."
Oh no!
Oh my god! I know.
You mean
I'll be sharing that as soon as I get the video edited up. So.
That was one.
Outside of the one that you posted already.
Yeah.
There's more.
Oh, nice. Because I was telling Carrie, I'm like, I couldn't hear it I couldn't watch it. And I'm like, I'm pretty sure at some point I say in there, "Oh, you picked the baby with Down syndrome."
Because her baby is like waddling along super slow, and you're just like,
I know.
I turned right. Sure enough, I'm on the plane before it takes off. And I finally am able to watch your video. Sure enough, I turned right to the camera. Maybe with Down syndrome.
Yeah. I'm laughing so hard. I'm having trouble like even hitting the damn. Oh my god! In any kind of rhythm, it was really funny. My baby was.
Pathetic. Panic Park, and then I got a video of Jimbo playing Irritating Maze.
Oh, nice!
Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
Kevin's game.
Irritating. Yeah. Irritating Maze is fun. In fact, I had written in the Cloud
And
thread.
Jimbo, you never heard it before I told you about it, huh?
No, what? I'm trying to remember what game that was.
I was like, it's like Marble Madness. If you like Marble Madness, you like
that one.
Maze.
Yes.
Kind of.
Okay.
Yes.
Yes, that one.
Well, yeah,
don't touch the sides. You don't touch the sides.
Yeah.
Don't touch the door.
Don't touch.
But it's a track ball, and you're
You're
essentially like this kind of ball rolling around, right? So.
Yeah, normally you like to touch the sides, but
It should give you like a little electric shock, though. Wouldn't that be cool?
She likes it better.
Yeah.
You know, like you know those games where you hold on to like the Addams Family thing and they give you electric shock, like they should do that for playing an Irritating Maze. You know, like
that sounds like something they would have in Japan.
Or instead of the air compressor hitting you, it slings a little yogurt on you or something.
Oh, jeez.
Oh no.
You gotta take a shower every time you play it.
They have a sanitizer right next to it built in. Yeah.
You go play Tron. It's like, I swear to God, I was just playing the other game.
Yeah, I was playing Irritating Maze. That's it.
That's why they have. That's why they have black lights on all over that game. Yeah. Wow, that guy's played it before. Yeah.
Hey, you're a swallower.
Oh, I see how it
But
is.
the Come On Baby, the one level that like they're like a couple of sumo wrestlers on the floor, but they're just like bitch slapping each other, like you know, he can duck back to try to avoid them. It's hilarious.
You guys see the Come On Baby where he actually drops his? You see the baby peaky?
Yes. Yeah. And he turns around, shaking his butt.
It's so weird.
What the?
So fucking Japanese.
Yes.
What the fuck?
Baby porn.
Right.
That's just.
Pretty much. Yeah.
Who here is into baby porn?
God damn, that's fucking weird.
Shit. I know.
Right.
It was really bad. But yeah.
Boys have a penis.
So yeah,
Stop
Panic
right there.
Park though, like playing Panic Park though, like that's aggressive.
Terry's idea of playing
against each other.
Panic Park, by the way, is not actually hitting the person; it's leaning into them.
Yeah.
Oh, it's like elbow before you hit the joystick.
That's what you're supposed to do at the very end. Because if you looked at it, it was supposed to be that you were trying to push your opponent into the wall at the end on the last one.
You can't justify it. Sorry, no.
Did you guys happen to catch the tournament video on there?
I want to play it again. That was so much fun.
What a
So
great
every year,
dating game. You get to like touch your date.
Right?
Yeah, that would be a great date game, actually. That or beat them up.
No, really, it says in the rule set I'm supposed to grab your ass.
Push it to the left.
That would be the Bunga Bunga.
Wait, whose hand is
rule
that?
set.
Yeah, that's the game they're missing.
But did you guys happen to catch? They actually every year they do a tournament on that game too. The one that has
Was
the
that
four
helicopter
screens.
Jesus that wanted a Bunga Bunga?
Yeah.
But the tournament they have like they have electric powered air blowers, like leaf blowers, with like little frilly things on the end of it, and they're just like blowing in people's faces and stuff while you're trying to play the game.
No.
They're just like trying to create all these other distractions, and there's a big crowd around it. It's hilarious.
Oh,
yeah.
Sounds like MXC.
Yeah, really.
I'll bring my leaf blower to Nat.
There we go. But it'll be like gas powered, so everybody's inhaling the
Like
fumes.
Leaf blower in our faces, or playing karate champ or whatever.
Yeah.
As if it wasn't hard enough.
Yeah.
No,
really.
Low.
I hope you're not wearing contacts.
Yeah.
Yikes. Contact.
Well.
All right, so 11:30. I gotta go to bed.
Yeah, should we wrap it up, you guys?
All right,
anything else
so
to
Yeah,
talk
it's probably good time.
we only
It's
have
getting
2
late.
more
This was fun though.
episodes before Nat, by the way.
Yeah.
Wow,
So,
that's crazy.
No pressure, Andrew, but did you send the artwork files?
To Kendra?
Yeah.
Nope.
All right,
But I will.
tomorrow.
So tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
Yeah.
All right.
No,
All right, so
I sent
So
stuff
Gak-
off to XD because we were talking about sending that shit to that guy.
He posted
tonight,
on
so I-
Facebook already, by the way.
All right, good. So yeah, I sent that shit to him. Like when we were talking about it, I was
And probably
texting
within
him.
10 minutes, he posted it on Facebook. I saw it.
So yeah, so we may have some crazy stuff because he's a hell of a promoter.
There we go.
Hey, Jimbo, do you have the Romper Room song?
Probably not.
So we're gonna do Magic Mirror, Magic Mirror.
Yeah, yeah.
So who all do we have on tonight? We had
Sounds good.
Francis.
Mhm.
We had Brian Frober, Frizz,
We had some people we
Uh,
kicked out today.
Yule. Did we? I missed it.
You know.
Jess Place. I'm not sure who Jess Place is. That's a new one. RC Cola 777. I said Mule, Seabard, obviously, Mog.
I saw Nick in here. At
We
some
had-
point.
Yeah, Slick Nick
We
was
had
on
Luke-
for a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have Lou Op, aka Paul.
Yep.
We had Frizzle for a little bit.
Yeah,
Yep.
he's on here. We should have got him in
Gleek.
here for his.
Yeah, Gleek was in there. And Griffin wasn't on there, but he was in our Slack chat for a little bit.
Yeah, he was
Yeah.
waiting to come in, but it was like a full room.
Yeah.
Oh, did he?
No, I gotta go.
Wait for it.
Nothing but highbrow humor here.
Yep.
That's right.
All right. So good
All right,
times, guys.
Everybody for coming, and I have a